Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
Welcome back to another Vital MX MotoXpod show presented by RaceTech and Yamaha Motor USA. Once again, we're in studio. We're here when another show decides not to show up for you guys. Sorry, man. Sorry that you only can count on us, but we're here for you. There may have not been any AMA Supercross or Super Motocross or Pro Motocross this weekend, but we did have the final round of MXGP in Spain. And then coming up, Motocross Nations this week. So there are some things to talk about. We'll get into all that stuff. The penultimate round of the GNCC series just happened this last weekend. So we're going to do an off-road show this weekend. We have the brand new 2024 XC2 champion, Grant Davis, on tonight. He's part of the Landers KTM team. And then last year's 2023 XC2 champion, Liam Draper, is going to jump on and talk to us a little bit about his season. He moved up to the XC1 class about halfway through for Pro Yamaha. So, yeah, lots of good stuff to discuss this week. First things first, though, in studio, as usual, Scotty Thompson working the cameras, YouTube chat, all that good stuff. What's up, Scotty? How'd your weekend go?
You have me muted.
I have you muted.
Yep.
You deserve it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was good. We had our local pro challenge that we go to every year. Fortunately, I had bike malfunction that didn't let me to race the whole weekend, but that's probably Scotty's bike always breaks, apparently is what the rumor is around the pit. So
yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is, but we still had fun, had a good time, and glad to be here. Yeah,
so but you hung out for the whole weekend, so we can talk a little bit about the pro race.
Yeah,
in a minute, who showed up. But before we do that,
some names our listeners know of.
Yeah, let's introduce our other co-host, regular co-host, longtime co-host. Once again, just bails on us. Shows up for 1 week. TJ's not here again. He's a loser, so taking his place permanently. The second co-host, TJ is, I don't even know what we'll call TJ. He's not part of the show anymore. Not really. Chase, what's up, Chase?
What's going on, man? Good to be back.
710 Designs. You were out there shooting some photos at Swan MX this weekend as well.
Yep, got some cool stuff from that whip contest they did. It's a pretty good weekend. I'm still feeling it, though.
Did you get any good shots of me in Friday's practice?
I think I got a couple. I know I got one of you down.
You crashing?
Yeah, not crashing, but I got one of you down.
That's an impossible task. Oh yeah, you ate crap right in front of me.
I didn't really crash. That was an easy crash. Like, did it seem more drastic than it was? Because it was a very easy.
I guess you rolled out of it pretty good because it was. I mean, we were moving.
Because you said you kind of made it sound like afterwards, like it was like when bad crash, but it was pretty. Like it didn't. It was just I fell forward and rolled down the hill.
As I was like passing you, you were just like cartwheeling. So not cartwheeling, but like somersaulting.
It was a very mellow crash. Basically, right-handed turn going downhill, slick. The front wheel just got away and I fell off the front of the bike and rolled a little bit. And Chase, you were standing there. I don't know what he's doing. Who knows? Maybe he's got to poop or something. But what I was worried about, you were standing there in that corner, and like I got up, and it was first lap of that practice, and there was a lot of bikes coming at me, and no flagger.
So I realized that flagger is for 8 and 9.
Okay,
they needed another flagger there for sure because there's not one.
That tower is in that corner.
Yeah, but then you got her looking at two different sides of the track. I just bumped the camera.
Yeah, Scotty, check that camera that's pointed at me. He just bumped it.
Yep, my bad. But she'd be looking at two sides of the track. They definitely needed another flagger there, though.
So there's nobody there flagging ever?
Well, it's at the big off the takeoff of that jump before you come up to
the
that
table.
turn. Yeah. So
wow.
So there's not one between there.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay. Interesting. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to get hit. I didn't, thankfully.
Yeah, we got lucky.
I think Scotty thought about it, but
You're lucky. You're lucky. I'm scared of inside ruts, and I know why.
Yeah, so we'll get into a few more things, but yeah, tonight, like I said, Grant Davis, Liam Draper on the line. We're going to jump as we already kind of started it. The Yamaha motor, or the RaceTech Open discussion. RaceTech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company, and they have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. They also are building a reliable world-class engine, which requires a combination of state-of-the-art equipment and experienced, knowledgeable technicians. RaceTech provides quality precision engine services using the best equipment and processes in the industry. So, you guys have heard about RaceTech for years. If you're not using them already, check out racetech.com. You can find your local service center. You can get to know your local service tech. More than likely, if you have a service tech or service center in your area, those guys are probably at the track already. Get to know them. Talk to them. They can help you service your suspension, respring it if you need to, help you set your sag, and they can also provide you with parts or do engine work for you a lot of the times. So racetech.com. Super happy to have those guys on board. I want to give a shout out before we get back into this. I was telling you guys ahead of time that I donated. I had the really long poster of James Stewart at Washougal doing the scrub back in
02?
Was it that early?
I thought it was on 125. It's pink gear.
Okay.
125.
I thought it was. I didn't think it was that early, but regardless, really killer poster. And I donated it. I had him sign it at Texas, and then donated it to Raise It 4, the number 4 USA.com to help the fundraising for MXDN. I was being a little bit selfish, just like, man, it's hard to let this thing go. I don't really want to. I'm kind of bummed, but I will. And one of our listeners, I guess, Paul Thompson, reached out, and he has an extra one that he's sending me. I don't have it yet, but it sounds like it's the same poster. So I want to give a shout out to Paul for, giving up his poster to replace my poster. Very nice.
Yeah, it's good. You always get away with it, I guess.
Get away with anything. Just good things come to good people, man.
Yeah, you did.
I keep telling you, if you would be a better person, good things would happen instead of your bike blowing up and your fuel pump going out. It's because you're a dill hole.
I'm not a dill hole.
I mean, all this crap you start on the chat room with Tay-Bill Jam and Sockgate, and Tay-Bill Jam emails me and he's like, I don't even care. It's not even me. It's everybody else in the chat stirring the pot. And I think I have an email from him.
All I did was I rolled up a little snowball. I just set it at the top of the hill, kind of gave it a nudge, and then it turned into like a blizzard. So that's not my fault that it picked up. You had to do the right thing.
I think it is. So here's an email. We're gonna jump. We're just gonna. You don't have to change to the Evans Coolant emails right now, but I'm gonna give you an early email since we're talking about it. Tay-Bill Jam says, all good, mate. Honestly, because I told him I was sorry that it took so long. I forgot all about it. And it's all the guys in the chat and that asshole Scotty going on with it.
He did not say asshole.
Now it's become this big joke and a bit of banter in chat. Please don't think I have been seriously waiting for the socks, nor have I been upset by it. That asshole Scotty is just
not
a pain.
What it says.
Thanks for getting back to me, though. I'll let you know you're the best. It's the only reason I listen to the MotoXpod show is because of you.
There's a lot of ad-libbing in that email.
He said, thanks for getting back to me. I'll let you know when socks arrive so I can tell all the guys the sock saga has come to an end. So he hasn't got them yet. But
we're still going to joke about it.
We're working on it.
You didn't even send them. You got bailed out by WPS.
No.
That's
how it was going to happen anyway, as we were going to go through WPS. I just went through their
Four
local.
score and 7 years later. Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry, Tay-Bill Jam, that Scotty's just a pain in the butt. I don't know what to tell you, man. He's troublemaker, but Sockgate's coming to an end. Okay, let's do some RaceTech open discussion. Team USA. I don't think we talked a whole lot last week. Did we talk about Cooper Webb stepping down?
A little bit.
A little. Did either of you listen to the interview I did with him that went up on Vital like yesterday or yesterday?
I didn't listen to it.
Man, it's good. There's some good stuff in there. He talked about when they reached out to Eli and he said, hey man, Eli kind of said, he said he had talked to AP.
I heard about that.
Reached out to Eli and said, look, we feel like this is your team. Take the team. Let's go kick some ass. And Eli came back with, yeah, let's do it. Let's kick some ass. Like listening to his response on that interview I did with him has me way more fired up for Team USA than I had been in the past. And maybe it's a little bit of just, again, running with my heart as I have a tendency to do, Chase. Mm-hmm. But I don't, we're going to do our EVS picks this week are going to be our top 5 for MXDN. So I don't want to give it away yet where I have Team USA, but I'm more excited than I was.
Yeah, me too. There's definitely some stout teams this year. It's especially if it rains. If it rains, it's going to be a rough weekend, I think.
And there is, I looked today, and I think it was like 30% chance on Saturday and 60% chance on Sunday. So
it's been raining all week over there.
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain all week over there. Last I looked, anyways.
yeah, it's gonna that will have an effect on it. But I'm gonna go right now with hoping it's decent conditions. That's all I can. I'm planning on with my picks and thinking about this. But Scotty, he also talked about wanting redemption for 2016, which I think we did talk about that last week.
Yeah.
Jason got landed on. He had to go out. He fell over in the final moto. We were in points to win the thing, and he tipped over, lost a couple spots, and he talked about how that ate at him for a while. And he wants redemption. He admitted that he's rode the 250 a few times in the past. He's rode Hayden's bike. When he was at KTM, he rode like Vial's bike. He's rode a 250. So, I'm more confident, not that they're going to necessarily win, but that they're going to be in the fight more than maybe I was originally giving them credit for.
Do you think that his ceiling is winning his class?
Cooper?
Yeah.
Well, so the ceiling would, yes, be winning the class. Do I think he can reach that ceiling?
Well, the
Unlikely.
ceiling would be winning just straight up winning a moto.
Well, you have to decide, is that the ceiling?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that,
No, I don't think
highest,
so.
The highest ceiling available is winning whatever
I see. Okay.
motos you're in, like going 1-1.
I thought you were saying, is that his ceiling?
No,
I don't think...
he could go 4-5 and win his class.
I don't think he wins his class. Top three, though.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to say that yet. But I'd say top three, podium is class.
If let's say no, we don't have any races with a bike malfunction or a crash or a bad start or anything like that, which probably will happen. If it was, let's say they all had their best races, not best races, but all had good races.
Everybody.
Our team.
Oh,
whose race would we drop? Barring no obvious drops.
probably one of AP.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to say one of APs. I'm going to say one of APs in his class because
I don't know. Like what other three guys? I mean, he's got to be one of the favorites to win.
We'll talk about that
open
when we get to
class.
the EVS picks. We'll talk about like the breakdown of the
We
riders.
never break them down anyways, but
we're probably going to talk a little bit more about tonight because it's a different.
Yeah,
this isn't our normal picks.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll get to that, but I just want to see if you guys, since you didn't really listen to that interview, you don't really have. You're not very good friends, first of all.
I'm sorry. We're sorry we're doing something all weekend.
It just came out yesterday, man. Like it's really like it's one of our biggest listened to things in a while. I figured like if you exist, you would have listened to it.
I've been editing for like 18 hours.
Whatever, dude. I don't want to hear your stupid excuses. I just want to see if you're more excited or not. So if you haven't listened to it, you really can't comment.
I saw like where y'all posted it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you saw the
little
photos.
Quote,
Great. I'm glad you saw the post and you just like, oh yeah, whoop-de-doo. Okay, let's talk about.
I'll save it for drop.
Before we get to the Yamaha Moto USA highs and lows, let's very quickly talk about the MXGP series wrapped up. You guys don't listen or watch every single round, die hard, but the MXGP class was very, very tight. Geyser had been leading up until China, had a foot peg brake issue with the bike, had a bad moto result. Prado takes over the points lead, go into the final round. There's some different scenarios where, either one of could have won. Prado gets the job done, goes 1-1, wins the title, 2-time world champion, and then Kai de Wolf wins his first world championship in MX2. Did you guys watch any highlights? Anything stand out from that weekend? Because pretty impressive for Prado to go 2-2 in that field and come back like that.
Yeah, I saw a couple highlights. I'm thoroughly impressed with that Kai de Wolf kid. Like, yeah. I really hope he comes over here because he reminds me of like Stewart when he was young.
What about him reminds you of Stewart?
Just how he's loose on the bike. He just does stuff people don't do.
Yeah.
And it's cool to watch.
Yeah, I thought, I was thinking about this. Prado started off this season with a couple of wins. He had the points lead, and then he had a couple of races with some issues, whether it was Rex or bike or whatever it was. And then, pretty much the remainder of the series, Geyser had the lead, and it was kind of can Hurlings and Prado catch him? And so the question I'm getting at is, did Geyser lose this championship, or was it Prado's to begin with and he got it back?
No, Geyser lost it, in my opinion. In my opinion, Geyser lost. Geyser's very steady and consistent.
But if Geyser won, you could have said that Prado lost it because of the issues he had.
Prado did lose it, and then he got it back because Geyser had. I mean, I didn't realize it was a foot peg breaking off, but yeah, like
that was in China. But they all had different issues. But I think overall, Geyser was the most consistent without the mechanical. So I'm good for me, but I'm also a Geyser fan. I'm going to say Geyser lost the title in the end.
That series is just so long. It's hard to go with. I like it for that reason.
Track's
It's so hard.
that track in Spain was awful.
Yeah.
Hurley's had a lot to say about that. Really went off on the track. The promoters, they docked him some spots for getting bumped off the track and kind of cutting.
Yeah, where was he going to go?
Didn't Tim get bumped off the track and not get docked?
In Moto 2, did they not dock him?
I saw somebody say something in one of the group chats that they didn't think he got docked.
I thought he did get docked.
I never went and actually checked. I think it was TJ that said something about it.
Regardless, Hurlings was very vocal, and he said, like, I understand why everybody's going to the USA, and if I was a little bit younger, I'd be on the flight right now. He's like, I'd be on the next flight to the USA.
Wow. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Well, now that they're seeing how much these guys are making at SMX, well, hell yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, that and like they don't pay purse, right?
Yeah, that's the idea.
It's a Lewis question.
I think they do pay a purse. I think it's just very small.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But those guys are making
and the
salaries.
entry fees are
really
it's
crazy. The entry fees are high.
Yeah, I think there is a purse, but it's not like it's almost nothing.
Yeah,
Let's do the Yamaha Motor USA, and we'll come back to some other things. Yamaha Motor USA has a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best doesn't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com or go to your local dealership and find the 2024 line, 2025 lines come out now. See what they've got to offer. Even their e-bikes, man. Go get you some Yamaha. Become part of Blue Crew. You will not be disappointed. I found out yesterday that, I think I told you guys I am going to be racing Vet Nationals. We'll talk about that in a little bit maybe. But I think I'm going to drive because it sounds like I am getting another Yamaha. So I get to bring that back.
Oh, nice.
Pretty stoked on that. I have gotten very comfortable on that 350 KTM. But I missed the Yamaha, so I'll be glad to have a couple bikes to bounce back and forth from and kind of...
Yeah, you should like set them up to be like two different style bikes. So like,
yeah, I would rather take them both out and like say, okay, the 350 is better in this place or a 450 is better here, and be able to maybe do a really good story on that down the road on Vital MX. So I think that's what
you could do like one moto on one bike.
Yeah,
and one moto
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
That'd be cool.
It's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean,
or classes, do two different classes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. So that's going to be a goal for that. So thanks to Yamaha Motor USA.
Ride them around like water skis.
Yamaha Motor USA. Okay. I'm not sure I'm not have that ability.
Oh, come on. You got it.
Okay. Yamaha Motor USA, highs and lows. Let's go with Vince Pale from T-Bolt USA's first. Top 5. He sent in top 5 things to change in the moto from last week. He jumped in on that. Don't change anything, just enhance things. Okay. Then he says, stop banning pit bikes at events. Let's get together and find a solution. I'm suggesting a registration fee with sticker, and you must be over 18 years of age.
Mm-hmm. They were doing that at the Pro Challenge this weekend.
They're doing that because the insurance has gone so high. If you allow pit bikes at your race, your insurance is like
This is 40. The top 5 from last week. I don't even know why I'm jumping in on that right now. Let's jump to highs and lows. Sorry. His emails are all one email, so I got to try to decipher, which is fine. I got to do a better job. But highs, pit bike at 15 Facility, New Jersey, Sunday, with my son Vince, his girlfriend Alex, and my granddaughter Laura Lee, and she finally turned the throttle on the Stasic bike. Stoked. Lows, Chase getting hurt at the final round of SMX. So it's been a little bit since he's responded. But those are his highs and lows. Either one. If you want to go, you want me to go?
You go ahead.
Okay, my highs were I rode at Crowded J again. It's another local private track, maybe becoming public here in East Texas soon. Had a blast. The track is just really, really fun. They're doing a good job prepping it. Put in a 38-minute moto, 18-minute moto, and like a 20-minute moto. I can't remember, but just felt really good. Had a blast getting some riding in Sunday morning. Riding at Swan Friday, it was getting really ruddy, and got to ride the back section of that track, which is normally not open. I enjoyed that they got that. I wish they would just leave that open all the time.
That's my favorite part of the track.
I don't understand why that can't be just, other than they just doing the work, I guess. They prepping it.
It's not that much more.
You wouldn't think so.
At that point, like, it's not that much more.
But those are my highs. And then my lows, guys are not winning the title, possible bad weather this coming week in MXDN, and TJ just being a loser not being here. Yeah. So, TJ, those are my highs and lows.
Yeah. We have one of our listeners has a question for you. They said, when you ride the 350, do you tuck in your junk and drink Bud Light?
No.
No?
No.
I guess it's small enough he didn't have to tuck it in.
Maybe. I mean, I guess he's saying that's like a
He's basically calling you
a
homosexual.
vagina bike or a
yeah, he's calling you homosexual for riding.
I don't know. Say, man, that bike's good.
Yeah.
They're fun, dude.
Tell me, I mean,
They're awesome.
I mean, you rode with me. It's pretty. I mean, I ride it okay.
I'm just
So.
yeah. I'm just reading what I'm just
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just man of the people.
All right. So yeah, hey, whoever, what's his name?
I'm not gonna blast him out.
All right, I'll just check the chat later and F you.
Yeah, you will not check the chat later.
Probably not. I don't care. Okay, Chase, highs and lows.
Highs, the Best Whip Pro Challenge. I wish they would do stuff like that more often. It brought a bunch of people out, and it's fun for me to shoot pictures of.
Yeah.
And then lows were how I felt Sunday. I mean, BJ Williams got after me with some vodka, and I'm still hurting. That's my low. Not too many lows this
Somebody
weekend.
named William gave you a BJ and you feel bad.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Is that what I
That's
said?
what
Yep.
I was there, man. Can't confirm.
Wow. Okay. I wonder if that's going to be your high or your low.
Yeah.
It's both. It's both.
All right.
Oh, that's funny.
Scotty?
My
Yamaha
highs,
Motor USA?
my highs were also being able to go out and spend some time with our friends at the racetrack and doing all that. Lows were that my fuel pump went out and I didn't get to do all the racing I planned on, but I just drank some beer instead and had a good time. And
Stuff like this happens when I'm there. Maybe it's me.
it's only when I can go ride.
Wasn't it the Pro Challenge last time?
No, it was that free
It was
race.
the free
they did.
race. The free race is where I
okay.
blew my bike up.
Yeah, that race was not free.
You know, it was the most expensive
Okay,
race I've ever done in my fucking life.
Jeez.
But it's funny. It's always like when something important happens. Like the weekend before we rode Crowded J, bike ran fine, and I told my buddy, I was like, watch, it ran fine. It's going to do something stupid at Pro Challenge.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it did. So
Well, it was funny because you were having a hard time starting it Friday, and you're like, "Oh, I think it's because I usually use the air filter spray that you told me not to use. So I use regular oil, and I think that's why it won't start." I'm like, "No, I don't think
He's
so."
just
man.
grasping for straws.
Yeah.
And just hoping
Yeah.
it
Trying to
wasn't going to
blame
break.
me.
No, so I took my bike over to Munn. They were luckily it was a big race and they were there for trackside support. And he tested my fuel pump and it was low on pressure. And one thing we had noticed is that apparently that generation of KTM had a little bit of a flaw where the hose goes into the fuel pump where it kinks. And so we had realized when I'm changing the fuel filter that it was kinked, and we fixed it, and the bike started to run. It was running fine, but over time, because of that kink, it just wears that fuel pump out more.
Yeah, it was starving
And
for
he's-
fuel. and
Yeah,
just
he's
burn it up.
He said he's heard of it like 5 or 6 times from that generation of KTM.
Gotcha.
So I guess I got a lemon on that. I got a lemon of a fuel pump. So.
It's only like 225
It's not like I didn't
difference.
tighten something or didn't like.
Seems like you should have been paying attention to your fuel line.
I mean, I don't know. what else. I mean,
It was king
When's the last time you looked at a fuel on?
yeah.
every time I ride.
Yep.
All
Yeah, he
right.
might.
Yep. All right. Well, that was the Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows. Love for you guys to get involved. MotoXpod@gmail.com if you want to get involved with the Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows or the T-Bolt USA Top 5 or any of our other segments. Just hit us up. We'll read your emails, your thoughts, your criticisms, etc., your hatred or dislike of Scotty. I really wouldn't want to read that stuff online, but if you're, a fan, we got to do justice to your email.
If it's
So
funny.
I will read them, even though it'd be reluctantly.
I'm restarted. I don't read.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Okay. A few minutes before we get Grant Davis on the phone, we can talk about a little bit more about Jorge Prado or Ironman GNCC coming up or something else. If you guys have a topic, what do you want to do?
Prado.
Okay. So I'm curious what you guys think. Two-time world champion now, coming to the USA in 25 for Kawasaki. What effect does he have on the next 2 years of American racing? Do you think he moves, do you think he gives a little bit to Jet Outdoors? He's a factor. Do you think it's going to take a while? What effect is he going to have? Let's just say next year in 25.
The first year, he probably won't do what he's going to. I mean, you're coming over here learning tracks. We've seen that time.
Let's start with Supercross because he's
Well,
gonna do that
Supercross,
first.
true.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to take him a year or two to really get up to where because he was doing right around 10th-ish.
Yeah.
So, it's going to take him a year
I think
or two.
he went 13, 7, 11, 12 in his 4 races.
Yeah, that's not bad for never riding it and coming over here in the premier class.
I think the 7 was actually the muddy race at San Fran.
San Fran, I think. Yeah.
Which Lewis says he's not very good in the mud, but he did well that night.
Well, they also ride a lot more.
Worse.
He might not be good in mud over there, but their tracks are so jacked. Usually, he's better than most of our guys over here in mud, I'm sure. But I think he's going to do well when he comes over here. Just depends on how.
Yeah. So probably not a factor for the title, or even maybe. Do you think it'll be a factor for wins by the end of Supercross at all?
Not Supercross.
Okay. What about you, Scotty?
I think it's going to take a year of learning curve before.
So, what do you think he can help? Not can he, but does he podium in 25 in Supercross?
No.
I'd say no.
No. He'll probably win something outdoors. I could see that. Even with learning.
Let's move to outdoors now. We feel he's going to be stronger there. He's going to learn the tracks, right? But guys like that, guys with that ability, we'll say, he's not used to these tracks. He'll figure them out pretty fast. Yeah. He's not going to have the 2-day format to figure it out.
I think that's more of an issue than learning the tracks.
But so Scotty, what's his best result? Does he get a win in 25 and
outdoors
we're going outdoors now. Like, give me where you think he'll average finish.
Wouldn't ideally he just won the MXGP class 2 years in a row? Shouldn't he? Reality be the answer to Jet? Shouldn't he be challenging
That's
Jet
what I'm asking you.
For a title? I don't know if he will, but that shouldn't be that be the expectation.
Yeah, he's also changing bikes. There's a whole lot of variables coming into it. But Chase has kind of been a head case outdoors with Jet. So somebody else to come in and
average finish for Prado in 25. Give me an
average.
Give me an average finish. About where you see him week in and week out.
50-50, third or fourth.
Okay.
4 to 6, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
So he'll have better rounds. But
I think he'll most of the time he'll beat Hunter, but maybe not every time.
Oh, okay. Most of the time.
He should, right?
I don't know.
He's dominated that series the last 2 years.
He's probably going to get starts. He's very, very good starts, but will he be as good at starts on the Kawasaki as the MXGP KTM? I don't know.
There's a whole lot of variables.
I think you have to say yes. He's still going to be good at starting.
Yeah.
So he'll get starts, but Hunter's not bad at starts either.
No, that's
very good. Honda's are very good at starts. So then you go, okay, well, who's a better rider? Who's I don't know that he'll beat
Tomac will be there.
I don't know that he'll beat Hunter consistently in 25. Maybe learning the tracks and the dirt will be, different dirt, different bike. Those things are going to be factors.
The tracks form different, just based off how they ride.
That's why I'm going to go average. What I say? I said fourth.
Yeah, that's kind of right. But
so I'll go fourth. I think he gets a win. He'll get a moto win. I don't know about an overall.
I could see him getting a moto win for sure.
So we should write that down, or if our listeners want to.
Yeah, we making bets. What are we doing? Put your money on the table.
Nah, not yet. Let's wait till it gets a little closer. Okay, so a couple minutes before we get Grant on. Christian Craig to start Yamaha announced today. Any thoughts on that? How you think that's going to go? What do you think? Maybe you guys discuss that a little bit. Just how you see it's working out while I work on getting Grant on.
Kind of surprising, I guess, just because I didn't expect him to go back to a factory team. Not one of that caliber. But I guess which I think Deegan's paying part of his salary, right? That's what I've heard.
That's been the rumor. Nothing was put out in a press release. I was supposed to do an interview with Christian, and my schedule changed last week where something happened family-wise. I had to reschedule, and then we never actually got it rescheduled. So I was going to ask him about that. I don't know if that's going to be public knowledge. If it's true, no idea.
Well, if it is, I think it's a good call on both of them.
Well, he's not on the same bike as Tomac and Webb and Justin Cooper. He's on the Bobby Reagan.
Where'd you hear that?
I don't know. I just pay attention to the sport so much.
Oh, do you?
I have a lot of sources, inside guys, and I just find stuff out.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I was just, me and Christian text all the time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, we'll move on from that then.
Yeah.
It probably will not be the exact same bike because he is under the 250 tent.
Okay.
Bobby Reagan side. Salary is going to be paid through the Bobby Reagan side, not factory Yamaha. So more than likely, the bike's going to be a little different. I don't know all those details just yet. I was hoping to ask a lot of those questions and find some of that stuff out, but it didn't happen. He ghosted me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Christian.
I think that he obviously showed in the past that he's really good on the Yamaha. I know that the last bike he was on and the one now is a little bit different, but I think he never really got comfortable with the Husky. Not to say that there's anything wrong with Husky. I just don't think it gelled with him. And also, he's been using like half of his arm. So there's a lot of variables that went into that. And I think that Star will. I noticed that they said we're coming home kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So I think they're happy mentally. I think he'll be a little more fun, and he has a potential to be an important role in that team.
Yeah, I'll reach back out to Christian this week, and we'll try to get an interview done. I'm also supposed to talk to Austin Faulkner this week. His new deal is supposed to get announced in the next couple of days. Towards the end of this week, we'll get the announcements on Pierce Brown, a bunch of other riders, Jordan Smith. All those things are going to be coming out. So
silly season.
Yeah, stay tuned. But our first guest of the night is on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. And don't forget, they have complete seats for the Talaria and the Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron and Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 hours. As a matter of fact, I think our next guest runs Guts Racing seat covers, so we can ask him how that works in a 3-hour race in the woods. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Landers Racing KTM, the 2024 XC2 champion, Grant Davis. What's up, Grant?
What's up?
Not much, man. Glad to get you on. Nice to meet you, even though it's through the phone. I've only been to a few GNCCs, and I've never actually met you face-to-face. But, dude, what a freaking year.
Yeah, it's been pretty sick, honestly, with everything that's been going on.
Yeah, so talk to me about this. I think 8 wins this year in the XC2 class, 6 in a row, and I don't believe you were ever off the podium. And I looked at your results last year, and they weren't anywhere near the same results. What made the difference this year? What was the improvement? What was it?
Last year I had a couple injuries and was struggling with my bike a little bit. And this year we got a new frame and stuff, and it's helped me a lot. And training with Caleb too has definitely made it better.
Caleb Russell. Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about him in a minute. So just so you know, we're primarily, we cover in this show Supercross and motocross. And just in the last year or two, I've started doing some GNCC stuff because I've done a few races with AmPro just for like intros and stuff. And I've really got to love off-road riding. So having you guys on is a little bit new to us. So I'd like to get a little bit of your background before we get going, because I don't know that all of our listeners know a lot about you. Where'd you grow up? How did you get into off-road racing? Was this a family thing or something you discovered on your own?
Yeah, my older brother and dad raced, and Nick was a pro, and then I always wanted to do it, and then now I'm kind of where he was, so it's pretty sick.
Yeah, you're definitely coming on pretty strong. It's impressive. I have 2 other guys in the studio. Before I go to them, I want to ask you, you made a comment about the new frame, and some guy and Supercross and outdoors, a lot of those guys didn't like that frame change very much. What was it? Why was it beneficial to you? What did it do differently or feel different that made the improvements from last year to this year?
Like on a motocross track, even when I rode that bike, I would love it. But when I got into the woods and stuff, over like all the rocks and roots, it was like really, it would deflect a lot. But the changes they've made has made a big difference.
So the old one deflected a lot more than the new one?
Yes,
okay.
Way more.
That's interesting. I've heard our buddy Chris Kiefer, who does a lot of testing, say the same thing. And I rode the 23 Husky, so that was the old frame. And then now I have the 25 KTM 350, and I felt like the new one was deflecting more, but then that might have just been suspension change settings and stuff like that I had to get around. So that's pretty interesting well, it's not really interesting. Just Scotty just shows that I don't know what the hell I'm feeling.
Well, we knew that.
But go ahead, Scotty.
Hey, Grant, I was looking at a little bit of your results, and, you pretty much put the whooping on them in the last part of the season in the 250 class, and I even noticed that you won a couple overalls. That's a pretty heralded thing to do. You did it twice this year. What were those races like? Did your goal turn to winning the overall? That hasn't been done very many times. Just kind of take us through that experience.
Yeah, well, definitely after Florida this year, getting second overall in my first XC2, when it kind of it gave me a spark to definitely try to go for the overalls after that. And I was pretty consistently in the top 5 or 6 the rest of the year, landing on some podiums a couple times. And then through summer break, I was racing the National Enduro and crashed pretty hard and got a grade 3 separation in my shoulder and pinched a nerve like 2 weeks before the first GNCC back. And I couldn't ride at all or do anything. And we went there like trying to get a top 5 just to manage some points, and I ended up fighting through it really hard and ended up with the overall that race.
Nice.
So does that kind of make you? I mean, I'm guessing you're going to move up to XC1 next year.
No, I'm going to stay down one more year and defend it.
Okay, defend it, and then hey, I get some more overalls. I was going to say that it's got to make you the favorite of and somebody that they have to watch out for,
especially when he's that dominant.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot more woods guys at moto tracks. I was curious how much like moto do y'all ride compared to like outdoor stuff or cross country stuff? Yeah.
So we ride quite a bit of moto actually at Caleb's in North Carolina, and then as a stand track in Florida, it's a really fast open stand track with some jumps and stuff. So we do ride moto quite a bit.
I guess it's a little easier on the bikes.
Yeah, and I think just with no trees too, it's a little bit safer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, those trees. The trees don't move very much when you hit one. I've learned that pretty quick.
Yeah, the National Enduros are pretty gnarly on your hands.
Yeah, you do that. You're doing the National Enduro Series also. Where are you at in that series? Are you leading it?
Yes, I think next race I just have to finish one test in top 14 in my class, and I lock that championship up too. Nice.
Yeah, a lot of championships this year. And your teammate, Angus Reardon, he's doing the other off-road series, right? Why am I blanking on it? What is it called? Sprint Enduro. Yeah, the U.S. Sprint Enduro. Now, you're on the same team. Does the team decide that you're going to do different series, or is that kind of up to you as an individual?
It's kind of half and half. Like we'll both talk about it and figure it out. But I raced National Enduros last year, so I wanted to try and win the championship in them this year. And Gus won sprints last year, so he wanted to defend his title. So that's why I think this year we both stayed in them two series.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious about that. And then your team is really, really strong. Obviously, Gus, I think he might have been leading at one point the series. I feel like he was early on, finished second overall. And then your WXC, Brandy Richards finished second behind Rachel Archer, and Brandy won some races this year, like a very, very strong team with that Landers Racing team. And I believe that's a new team for 24, or is it just changed branding?
So Chris Landers ran like a Husky team, like pretty much by himself, but now like he worked in with Auntie and all the guys at KTM and put a factory FMF KTM team together.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, very successful for this season.
What do you find to be like the hardest part of your race? Is it endurance at the end? Is it trying to find the lines in the first race and like battling with the pack? Which part of the race do you find yourself most comfortable in?
I normally start off a little bit slower in the beginning parts, like the first 2 laps, and then I start getting a little bit faster throughout the day. And honestly, my last 2 laps are the most like comfortable I am all day.
Yeah, it just takes you kind of like a diesel engine. You got to warm up,
build.
Yeah.
You got a favorite GNCC? I know that like that Florida one's just crazy.
Yeah, everyone's gonna say I'm crazy for it, but honestly, Florida is one of my favorite tracks.
Come on, man.
Not.
Okay, well, here's the thing. So that's one of the ones I did. I've done Ironman 3 times, maybe 2 or 3 times. I did the first one, which was Big Buck, right? Big Buck.
Yep.
I did Wild Boar. I think those are the only ones I've done.
But Florida.
Yeah, that's
right.
Florida. Wild Boar's Florida. I did that 2 years ago when it was super hot. Not this year, but last year.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, the first lap, because I ride a lot of moto, I was like, oh, it's all sand loops. I got this. And I was doing well, but by the last one, I was so dehydrated, blurry vision, legs were like numb. And I honestly, I thought I was going to die. Like, no joke. I didn't know if I was going to get out of those woods. So I think it would be fun. Like, if you're prepared for it, I could see where it would be fun, but I like Ironman are the ones I've done, and Big Buck was fun. Those are more my style. But I hate like the rocks, the ones that are all rock. I'm out.
Yeah. I really like the rocks too. So I'd rather go like Big Buck is my honestly least favorite race of the year because I don't know why I just never gotten along with that place. But I live in PA, so
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
So what is your favorite? Well, he asked you what your favorite course is, but what is your favorite type of terrain? And do you ever go out west and do some desert riding?
Last year I was out west in Arizona with Taylor Robert and all them practicing for ISDE. And honestly, don't ever want to ride out there again. It sucks.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like, okay, tell me what sucks about it to you.
I literally like you tip over in a corner and just rip your elbows wide open, and it's just so hard packed and always dusty.
Okay, all right. I don't like trying to climb a hill in the sand that's like silt, and I'm saying I can't figure out how to get traction in that stuff.
Yeah, I just don't like that stuff. It's just so hard packed.
Okay, yeah, not for you. Not for you. I agree though. The East Coast stuff's more fun for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey Grant, one of the things I find most interesting about GNCC is the fans and how they're kind of a part of the course. It's like they've got their family racing in there at the same time as you do, and they're known to throw back some bush lattes and all that kind of thing. And I just wanted to know what's your most unique experience you've had with the fans, all the GNCC guys. I like to ask that.
Honestly, on the podium, all the little kids that ask me for stuff and I sign it for them and stuff is pretty sick to me.
Nice.
I like that. I like the giving back. And really, Sky's kind of touched on it. That's one of the biggest things I learned about GNCC is it's so family oriented and friendly. I mean, obviously there's a lot of competition going on, but everybody's so helpful. It seems like, and I love the environment.
Yeah. Like the kids at the podium, some races I give them pretty much all my gear.
Yeah.
Do they say please at least, or do they just start yelling for it?
No, a lot of them say please, and some of them just start yelling for it.
Yeah, they're a little better than the Moto kids.
I was about to say, maybe they have more manners than the Moto kids.
The Moto kids expect it.
They don't even know who you are. They're just trying to get stuff. Yeah.
So it's a pretty long season, long races. You got anything outside of riding dirt bikes that keeps you fresh? Any other hobbies?
Honestly, not much. When I come, I go hang out with my friends like Cooper Jones and stuff, and we go. Honestly, we just ride all the time together. That's all we do. We just hang out and go riding and stuff.
That's cool, man. There's nothing wrong with that. You love riding. That's your relaxation. I like it. You mentioned a minute ago, one of the favorite parts is the kids coming up and, asking for autographs and communicating with you. And I'm sitting here looking, you won a bunch of youth national championships. So you were probably one of those kids not that long ago. Like, who were your idols back when you were on 65s and 85s winning championships? Who were the guys you looked up to?
Well, Charlie Mullins was like my first one. And then Caleb, obviously. And I've gotten along with Johnny really good since I've been young.
Uh-huh.
And he's taken me underneath his wing. And I've really appreciated everything he's done like that. And I definitely look up to Johnny, and it's pretty sick to be racing with him now.
Well, I dig that. I dig that you get a chance to work with one of your heroes or a couple of your heroes. That's got to be kind of inspiring. Tonight, Grant Davis is brought to you by Guts Racing. You mentioned ISDE a minute ago, and you were on the ISDE junior team last year, and I believe you're on it again this year. How does that work with junior versus world? How do you get picked for one over the other? Is it an age group, or and are you disappointed that you aren't on the world team?
Not really, because the junior team is until you're 24 years old. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So they'll probably keep me on the junior team until I'm past that age.
Okay, that's what I was curious about. We're a little bit new to this the off-road stuff, so I wasn't sure how that went. So what does go into the ISDE last year in Argentina, I believe it was? Like, what does that mean to you? Is that, I'm sure that's something you grew up watching and aspiring to do.
Yeah, so my brother went in 2015 for the junior team, and then since then I've just been wanting to do it every single year. And when they finally picked me, I was like, this is going to be sick. And I went out there, and it's just pretty cool to represent USA.
What about that event is special? Like, give us maybe what happened last year. Were there some moments last year that really stand out that made it special, and the things that you will never forget, whether it be while you're riding or maybe even off the bike stuff?
It was pretty sick. Like the week before the racing started, walked down the streets with thousands of people and thousands of kids and everything. They're yelling. And the motocross race the last day was really sick too, when we finished second and the women team won and the world team won. So it was a pretty good day.
So are you kind of like a rock star with the kids? Like maybe I don't know if they know who you are, but they know you're on the team and they're just like, you're a rock star, I would assume.
Yeah, there was kids surrounding around the whole USA tent asking for everything we had.
That's awesome. Awesome, man. I'm glad you got to experience that. Scotty?
Hey, Graham, being a part of the KTM team and knowing that, Caleb Russell left a legacy there and set quite a high precedent of what race wins and championships. Is that on your list of goals, is to get to that level? Or, we got to get there first, but what do you think of his legacy and how he changed the KTM team?
Oh, he's definitely changed a lot. He definitely has a huge name in the industry, and for everything he's done for the people he's trained, he's taught us a lot of stuff, and definitely got us there. And I would like to do what he's done for sure.
Right on. Yeah.
Chase, got anything?
Couple of series to go, but we can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you're done with your normal season, you're done with ISD, or maybe when you're done with your career, are there some bucket list races, I like to ask the off-road guys this, that you would love to do one day, whether it be like an Erzberg or a Dakar or even just something here, what's the Tennessee Knockout or something like that? Is there something that you haven't done that you want to do?
Yeah, I would definitely love to race a Pro Moto race. A couple of them for sure. And
okay.
Then, I went to Loretta's in 2021 and didn't do too bad, but not great. But I would definitely like to race a couple of them. And then, yeah, like the Erzberg or Tennessee Knockout would be really sick to do too.
I think you're insane if you think Erzberg looks sick.
Yeah.
He looks sick on the couch.
I would just like to try it.
Yeah, because that's the one, right, where only a few guys actually finished that, right?
Yeah.
That's
One year nobody did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't get up this. It took them like 3 hours to get up this like muddy wall, and they all just they finished together.
Jeez.
Like 6 of them did. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're one of those guys, Grant, that just likes to suffer, and it's kind of the thrill of actually just doing something that's almost impossible.
Yeah, I definitely like that a little bit, but I just think it would be sick, even if I only made it a little bit, just to say I did it.
Yeah. I've got a listener or a Vital MX YouTube, a forum question here. Let's see. This is from Robert Kraus. He wants to know if you'll move up to XC1 for GNCC or defend, which you've already said you're going to defend. But I want to know, I guess, following that question, at Ironman this year, since you've already wrapped up the title, will you move up to XC1 just for the one round?
No, I got a surprise happening in XC2 that we're gonna ride. So
okay,
that'll be pretty sick.
Huh. Well, I'll be there for that one. That's cool. Yeah.
We're gonna have to tell you. Let us know.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there for Yamaha's having an intro for their new FX model. So I'm gonna race a quad on Saturday.
All right, TJ.
Not sure how I feel about that because I've never really even rode a race quad.
That's not going to go well.
All right,
no,
TJ.
and then Ryan Villapoto and Damon Bradshaw are my teammates in this thing, so they're probably gonna be pissed off because I'm gonna suck.
You actually have to do the whole loop.
Yeah, I have to do a lap. Each one of us is doing a lap.
Oh my god, yeah, you're gonna ruin that.
If it's timed, they're screwed because it'll probably take me 2 hours to do a lap on a quad.
Make you go last.
Yeah, but I'll be there, Grant. So I definitely want to come by and say hi to you and meet you. That'd be really cool. I guess just a couple more questions for you. Since you are into racing moto, do you follow it? Do you follow Supercross and motocross and the series?
Oh yeah, I watch it every weekend that it's on. I'm watching it.
Oh, I dig that. So what do you think about MXDN this year coming up next weekend and our team with Chase or Aaron Plessinger, Eli Tomac, and Cooper Webb stepping down? That's pretty cool. I'm excited about those guys. How do you think we do?
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped. I think they'll do pretty good. Definitely some tough competition though, but I think they'll do good. Yeah,
we're going to talk at the end of the show. We're going to give our picks for podiums and stuff, but I think that's one of the coolest events coming up, so I'm pretty excited. How many Supercross and motocross races do you get to? Any of those during the year? Do you have time to go to a Supercross on the East Coast?
The last one I've been to, I went to Unadilla. It's not that far from my house. I went last year, but that's about. It's hard to go to them for sure because of like our racing series going on and everything.
Yeah, you get some downtime during the summer, right? But that's about it. Of course, that's when nationals are all over the place. But yeah, you race most of the year until middle summertime.
Yeah, we race until normally the last weekend in June or first weekend in July, and then we're off to like kind of end of August, beginning of September.
Yeah. So during that downtime for you guys, because the moto guys, Supercross really get zero downtime, do you actually stay off the bike for a few weeks and go do some fun stuff? Or you kind of just said pretty much you go ride. But
This is fun stuff.
Yeah, I guess. So I guess that might have been a dumb question, but do you take a week to go to the beach or anything like that?
Yeah, well, after Snowshoe, I went and I took a week off of riding and stuff and just hung out with my family and
There you go.
just got to see him because I've been in North Carolina and Florida all year with Caleb and everything, and I haven't been able to see him much.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's good to get away from it for a minute, get rejuvenated. But yeah, I guess, man, I want to say thanks for coming on. It's really been cool to meet you, and it seems like, you've made some incredible improvements over the last couple of years, and it would appear that you're going to be a threat to both these series over the next few years. So congratulations on the title, and good luck with the rest of the season, the rest of the enduro season, and yeah, kill it, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on. And yeah, I'll come by and say hi at Ironman.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks.
See ya.
Yeah. That is Grant Davis, brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Yeah, he's a young guy, man. So, just kind of, well, not new to winning, but new to winning at the pro level, I guess. He's won 65 titles, 85 YXC2 and YXC1, so all the junior stuff, won a lot of titles.
Him liking Wild Boar is insane.
I've heard that from some other guys. It's like, I mean, look,
I guess
I had fun
Yeah.
in the first 2 laps.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of fun. It was kind of cool dirt, but then once I was locked up, it was just miserable.
It's probably fun if you're in shape for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're good at sand whoops and you're in shape, it's not bad. I'd like to do it again.
Yeah.
With now that I'm in better shape.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were just kind of getting into shape.
You still had the
when you went
ponytail
into
back then, didn't you?
I think the pony was gone.
I think it was gone.
It was a new
I
change.
didn't have it last year.
It was the beginning of the new side.
Yeah, it might not have been gone very long, but that thing was fun. Okay.
You got it cut at Minnesota, right? Or at Minneapolis.
Yeah, Minneapolis.
So,
Yep.
it would have been after that, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't want people that don't follow GNCC as much to realize that him winning those overalls, like that's crazy. Like,
when you said, everybody.
I looked and I was like, holy crap, he did it twice. Like that's
that doesn't happen very often.
No, that is they start for the people, the motocross people.
Yeah. When you say that, you might have to explain what you mean by the overalls.
Yeah. So he races XC2, which is the 250 class.
Yeah.
And they start, I think, like a minute and a half. A minute is about it. They start
before no, I think
behind.
They go first. I think.
No, they don't go
second?
first. They're
I thought they okay.
Yeah, I think the 450 goes first.
The 450s always go first. So they start a minute behind the what the premier class
I'm not sure it's a full minute because I think
30 seconds.
I think it's more like 30 seconds. I guess.
But still,
they still got a head start.
There's a gap.
The fastest class starts 30 seconds before him, and he's caught him and won it twice.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy to do in a race like that.
I wonder if that surprised at Ironman's 2-stroke.
I don't know.
125.
That was the first thing I thought.
Yeah, we'll find out in a few weeks at Ironman. So if you guys are coming out to the Ironman GNCC, there's no phone signal there, but let me know ahead of time. It'd be cool to meet some of our listeners if you guys are going to be there. I got some friends I'm probably going to hang out with and stay over at least one of the nights. Mm-hmm. So I'll stay at the track instead of the hotel because the hotel's all the way back in Indianapolis, I think. And if they don't care, I'm probably just going to stay at the track with Cody and Mackenzie.
Oh yeah,
some friends of ours. So that I'd rather just hang out there, and they'll have a band, and I'm sure Stu will get up and sing again, and just have a good time. So yeah, I plan on being there and hanging out with everybody. So if you guys are coming out, let me know. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com or hit me up on social. But yeah, you talked about cutting the hair, and that was kind of fuel for my future and where we're at now. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fuel. ETS Racing Fuel is on board with the MotoXpod show.
Good job. That was
There it
smooth.
was.
That was
I don't
one
know how
hell of a
smooth that
segue.
was.
That was smooth. Yeah.
ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams in highly competitive series. We've been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com to find your local distributor. Factory teams such as Factory KTM, Rockstar Husky, TLD Gas formerly, Factory Triumph, AEO KTM, Rocky Mountain, Solitary Yamaha, Team Tedder, many more. Some new big teams coming in 25 to be announced shortly. All trust ETS. So go to ETSRacingFuels.com, find your local distributor, and put the best fuel you can get in your bike. I promise you, you'll notice the difference. It burns awesome. It runs great. I love it. So appreciate those guys jumping on board. We're going to jump into the X Brand Forum check-in. If you guys aren't opposed, you guys ready?
It's your
You
show.
excited?
We're just here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my show?
We had a
It's
choice.
your show.
No, you don't have a choice.
Okay.
Well, let's try this. Do you guys want to do the X Brand Forum check-in?
Yeah.
let's go.
I
all about
I needed one of you to say no.
Oh, well, no, I don't want to do it.
I actually like the
Well,
forum
I guess
check-in.
we're doing the X Brand Forum check-in. You know who uses X Brand besides the people on my list?
You
Me?
do?
Grant Davis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The new 2024 XC2 champion.
Yep. You don't wear
Grant
X Brand,
Davis.
you don't win.
You know how he won 6 in a row? Clear vision.
Yeah.
X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including the 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, the 23 National Hare and Hound champion XC1 champion Dalton Shurry, the 2024 XC2 champion Grant Davis, as well as motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin, and others. Visit EKSbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X Brand, distributed through WPS. Hashtag clear vision. We doing good over there?
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys having fun?
Yeah. Somebody said something crazy.
Tell us what's.
I don't know if
Let
you wanna
everybody
hear-
know.
I
There's
don't
people
know.
listening that aren't in the YouTube chat. They're missing out.
They said that they heard that you were at the Diddy White parties.
Oh wow. Can't.
you asked.
They told Darkside to oil up.
Yeah. he brought the baby.
Wow. I don't know if I like this YouTube chat. We might have to
asked.
disband the
I
YouTube
told you. I
chat.
told you didn't want to know. You
Yeah,
asked.
we might have to disband it. It might be going away. Okay. The X Brand Forum. I don't like you guys right now.
You did. You didn't have. You could
I
have just
asked.
moved along.
I asked.
You know
Okay.
better than to ask what's going on in over here.
The X Brand Forum check-in is titled First Double, posted by somebody named at Luke M91. Okay. Not prepared. I don't have the first one. A guy said, I did my first double. You can rip me apart. He posted a little video. How's the form looking? What should I fix? Any advice? Okay, so I watched his little video.
This is not the show to call for writing technical
Well, actually,
advice.
look. The point of this is not. I didn't even bring this up so we
It
can
looks
judge.
good.
So we can judge this guy jumping right or whatever
Yeah.
because you can't even see it right now. It's actually not bad. It's a pretty big double for his first double. But what I wanted to do is take this opportunity to talk about see if you guys remember the first time you did something like a double or something other than just a small jump. And then also let's lead that into. I thought it was a good way to lead into. Like at Thunder Valley, where we're still, this is the first time we're going to jump a particular obstacle that we're scared of. Like you and I have talked about, all three of us have talked about the step down at Swan after the finish, and none of us have hucked it yet, or Big Tex.
I don't know why I haven't jumped
I kind
Yeah,
of want
me
to talk
either.
about that process. So let's first, do you remember the first time you did like a double or something that was a little more significant than just a table or something that actually had some risk?
Yeah, I think I did a couple things on my 65, nothing big, but on my 85, I was like doing all the. It wasn't like it was crazy gaps or anything like that at the track, but I did all the jumps and like I remember that. Like yeah, it was. I mean, I still remember that 20 years later. So
Yeah, was it something that you had to build up to?
yeah, I don't think I'd been riding like the same track and hadn't
Yeah.
done it for a long time. And one day I just did it.
Okay. Well,
So I didn't start riding until 13, 14. I was on 125s.
Yeah.
And like, I was a squid for sure. I'm a lot better now than I was then. After
Wow, that's
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty bad.
Dude, I'm telling you. But that little step down double at Athens was the first bigger thing. The one, so you go.
Yep, I'm with you. I had to think about it. I was trying to go through my head.
That one on the straightaway on the right side. Yeah, that was the first one I did, but it takes me forever to do something. If I'm not 100% comfortable.
Sure.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have done the triple we were talking about
at
Thunder Valley, but when's the next chance I'm going to get to try it? So.
Chase was infamous in high school. He tried to jump a pond and did not go well.
Yeah. Oh, you've never heard that story?
No, hang on. So I want, if you guys have your stories like this, the first time you attempted to jump something big or something maybe you're considering jumping and you're trying to work up to, email us, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Maybe we can get into those stories next week a little bit. We could read some of those. Maybe it went well. Maybe it went bad. But yeah, tell me this pond jumping story.
So my dad and one of his buddies were tying one on, and they set up the toolboxes you put in the bed of a truck?
Like the old school ones that kind of went over the bed rails?
Yep. One of those. They had one of those set up, and they put my loading ramp on it. And
sturdy.
I was like, this is stupid.
Shocks,
I'm not doing
pegs,
it.
lucky.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, there's no way I'm doing this. I'm not doing it. And his buddy did it on my bike. And I was like, well, and I got called a couple of words.
Off the loading ramp over
fine.
a toolbox.
How did that work?
He did
I didn't know
fine.
somebody made it.
So the problem was he told me a gear higher than he was in and a little bit more throttle. So when I hit it, like the rear end, I wish I still had the video. It was on video. And
flip phone videos, classic.
The rear shock just rebounded and straight over.
Yeah,
the
that's
bars.
what I was picturing.
Yep. And I tried to get away from the bike, tossed the bars, and the seat came over and broke my femur.
Didn't. You just went along for the ride.
No, I tried to get away from it. I was terrified. I mean, it was every bit of rev that thing had, and I tossed the bars, tried to get away from it. And the bike came over and snapped my femur. And yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one.
This is over a pond.
Yep.
Did you end up in the water?
No, I made it over.
It was like a little.
Funnier if you landed in the water.
It was like
Full
a big
scorpion.
It
wasn't much of a pond.
It was like a big
20
puddle.
feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember we went to the same high school, and it was like a lunch or something, and everybody was just sitting there. Yeah, everybody saw me
Cruising around, me cruising around in a wheelchair, and Ainsley broke his back.
He wasn't there. I was like, "Where's Chase?" And somebody's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I broke my femur, and Ainsley did his back like similar times, and his mom was a teacher, so we'd be jacked up on medicine, and he'd be pushing me around the school in a wheelchair to his mom's office.
So I guess the answer is we remember stuff like that.
So what's like the first double that I remember doing was a small double at a track that we built at Fort Irwin, the Army base in Barstow, California, or north of Barstow, where I was living. That's the first, and it was easy, no issues. Like I don't even think I was scared. I think it was just because I was dumb back then. I rode with a kid that was a really fast 80 rider that used to battle with Kiefer back in the day, and I thought, well, he could do it, I can do it. So I don't really my original stories don't help, but now and as a jump Scott, I got to started doing bigger jumps. Like, what's your process? Everybody goes, well, just follow me over. I'll tell you over. And I think I told you guys, I told Kiefer this reason, like, I don't like that. I don't want to be towed over. I want everybody away. I want to be by myself and let me figure it out myself. I just kind of keep jumping further and further. And finally, I just have to go, well, I guess I'm going. That's what works for me.
I like to go, I watch it. I'll go practice and watch or race or somebody faster than me, and I don't like to watch somebody like super fast do it. Like somebody try to find somebody that's I feel is about my speed, and if they're doing it, watch them.
What about like this weekend? Like, well, there's kids on 65s doing that step down, and you're
there's not kids doing that on 65s.
Yeah, I think there are.
Yeah, there are
like one.
Yeah.
There's still 65s.
The point is
doing
not
it.
like the jump isn't that big, but we're still being sissies.
I'm more worried about going way long.
Yeah, that jump is kind of one that's been bugging me that I haven't done yet. So
what's the
really have a
process
chance this
though? Is
weekend.
it you just kind of mentioned that? Is that like what is it going to take to get you to get over that, or even like the new obstacle this weekend at Swan, jumping onto that table?
That's pretty.
Yeah,
I want to do that.
I feel that's because for me it depends on the type of jump.
Yeah,
that jump you can't
go long.
You can't really go long on it. So like jumps that I know are just
meaning it'd be you're not going to get hurt. You could say that those words in a different tone where like you can't go long because you might die, but that's not what you mean. You mean if you go long, it's like there's so much.
You can't over jump.
You probably could, but nobody at this table is fast enough to be going the fast
exactly.
enough to do it.
So I just want to clarify that. But the danger on this obstacle we're talking about is going
coming up
short.
Yeah, you don't want to go short. So jumps like that where I know that it's just carrying momentum and it's everything, pretty much everything I've got to do it and just committing to it. I probably if my bike hadn't messed up, I probably would have ended up doing that jump this weekend. I was watching it. I probably would have pulled the trigger on it.
I said I was going to.
It just depends on how clean you can get the double before it.
Yeah. And that's the key, right? Yeah. And it was really slick on Friday.
If I had got over that double, I probably would have clicked up and just because I saw so many pros and stuff doing it, I probably would have just done it. But the ones where, like the other one, is you can coming up short's bad and coming up long's bad. So going long's bad. So
I don't think coming up short on that
short's
not
step
too
down
bad. Now is that bad anymore.
It's
it
not
used
as
to be.
Yeah, they've mellowed out the landing on that a little bit. But going long is not.
I thought like if I decide that day I'm going to do that jump. It's funny. It's the tracks that I ride the most. It's like once you go to them and you don't do the jump and then it kind of like becomes a thing. Like when I go to like Lakewood, it was just like, oh, we just did it. Like we just
Well, I kind of walked through that a few weeks ago. Like I just had it was the whole way up that face. So I was like, oh god, I guess I'm doing it. Like I was terrified the whole time. Yeah.
So it kind of it just I like to hit it early in the day. Like if I don't do it the first or second time, then I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah. If you said you like to jump at it by yourself like that, if I do that, I won't jump it. Like I've got to do a couple. Like I might not even follow somebody off of it. It's got to be somebody I really trust.
Yeah.
But like I may do a couple speed runs behind somebody and then do it by myself. But if I just keep trying to jump at it like that all day, I just won't do it. I'll get in my head. And
I was definitely in my head, but I just kept bouncing off the face of the landing. Like it really doesn't need much more. I'm so I guess, and even back in the day, I would do the jump off to the side. Sometimes, like if there was a flat,
that can get sketchier.
Yeah, and then you're landing on flat, and it doesn't really add up because you're jumping at an angle. But in my mind, I was like, well, if I can get over it, then I'm good. Yeah, that didn't. I don't know. It's different processes. Yeah. It's all mental, though.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on how I feel that day. Sometimes I just send it, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna jump it. I'm just gonna do it.
Is it not the best feeling though? Like with the triple at Thunder Valley, when you finally get it, and you're like, oh my god, I was so terrified. And now it's so easy.
That feeling was a little delayed for me because I framed it the first time. But
it's still such an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's do. That's fun. Send us your stories if you have any for your first time doing something big or how you process it. If you didn't make it, we'd love that. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com.
Didn't make it.
Yeah, if you didn't make
it. Send pictures or it didn't happen.
Yeah. With 75 years of experience behind them, Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials exclusive to Barnett for maximum performance and durability. And you can get 10% off with promo code VitalMX. That's all caps at BarnettClutches.com and feel the Barnett difference. Chase, who is your Barnett clutch performance of the week? You got anybody?
Clutch performance.
Yeah, and it could be from this Weekend Pro Challenge or.
Well,
way to be prepared.
I had it. I just had to go back and look at it.
I don't believe you.
Brownie holding on for a podium at Swan in 250.
Pro Challenge.
Yeah,
he didn't podium overall.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, it was like a 2.6 or 3.6 for third. Yeah, he ended up third in the 250 class, which is pretty wild with how old he's getting. Still podium pro classes, even if it's a local race.
Vince Pell sent in Hayden Deegan at all three SMX. Pierce Brown winning the final. Again, this is from. It's a week late, but that's all right, Vince. We'll get him in. Who you got?
I guess it kind of. I'm trying to think if it happened. I guess it did happen this week. I'm going to say Tomac going to MX Nations. We haven't done a show since that happened, have we?
I feel like it was announced right before the last week's show, but maybe
was it?
Maybe I'm wrong. It's hard to remember what the hell we talked about. So
yeah,
regardless, I'll give it to you.
Since we didn't have a race this weekend, I'm going to use
I'll give it to you. Well, there was a race this weekend. There was a couple races. We've been talking about them. So I'm going to go Jorge Prado
in the U.S. as well.
Coming back to win the MXGP title, even though I was pulling for Geyser. I think that's my Barnett clutch performance of the week. 1-1.
It's hard.
Geyser
hard to lose it when you go 1-1. Yep.
Yeah, Geyser really didn't have anything for him. Very impressive. I think Prado's going to be a bit of a. He's the real deal, man. I mean, obviously he's the real deal, but I think he's going to bring something to our series next year, and I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, because he's what 25-ish.
Ask this guy, man.
24, 25. He's young. Like he's not that old, so he's going to get several years over here. Should be fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't know, like if his plans to come and stay here for a long term or what, but
most guys now that come over stay,
right?
Unless they're not just doing a single year.
But yeah, Prado is my Barnett Clutches Clutch Performance of the Week. Our next guest of the night's on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers. With industry-leading fit, finish, and performance, progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by muck-off FXR Club MX Yamaha riders. Used by Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core motor roots, so visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership and check out the complete 2025 line. Tonight, FXR brings us from Ampro Yamaha, the 2023 XC2 champion, Liam Draper. What's up, Liam?
What's up, man? How are you?
We're doing good. We just got off the phone a few minutes ago with Grant Davis, who clinched that title you won last year. What do you think he's feeling right now? Clinching that thing a week early, got to be it's a big deal for a kid his age.
Yeah, definitely. The kid's proved he's one to beat this year. Definitely, he beat me this weekend. Beat me twice actually. Overall, he's won 2 overalls now. But yeah, no, he's rode well all year and he's got it figured out considering where he was last year.
Yeah, Scotty was just mentioning that, like how difficult that is to win the overall in the XC2 class. Like, talk about that a little bit. You certainly know better than us what that takes, like the amount of ability and probably a little bit of luck. I mean, I don't know. Talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. It's tough. It's never ever been done until this year. Josh Toth was the first one to do it ever this year in Georgia in the mud. But yeah, the XC1 450 guys start a minute ahead of XC2. So
you were right, Scotty.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liam. I like you.
Yeah. Normally it's meant to be a minute. Some races they let them go a little early, but no, I see how it gets done. I mean, I can see how it gets done, but for someone to finish it off like Grant and Josh did this year is definitely impressive. Now moving up to XC1, I can see how easy it was from the XC2 line to catch the back end of XC1, and then all you got to do is ride with them. And yeah, Grant just works his way through XC1, and there he was right with us this weekend.
Are there certain courses where being on the 250 is actually a benefit?
Yeah, I mean, this weekend may have suited a 250 at the jump in. It's a super slick, hard pack, rocky track that, a smaller bike may have been better. But, yeah, I think each track has its benefits of a 450 versus 250. But, yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about your season. Started out in XC2, and from what I saw results-wise, and I was keeping up a little bit, you're doing really well. I think you had 5 podiums and 8 rounds and 6 top 5s. But you moved up to the XC1 class around 10, I believe. Did you move up because your teammate Ricky Russell got hurt, or was there another reason you chose to move up?
Yeah, so obviously the goal was this year to defend my title, and it started off okay, and at round 9, I think it is, Nathan Dixon this year, I had a crash and re-injured an old injury in my knee, and ended up having some surgery and got some hardware removed out of it, and we kind of the plan was I had to go to XC1 next year. You're allowed 1 year to defend your title, and then win or lose, you meant to go up. So we kind of got together with the team and decided we might as well go up and finish the last 4 this year on an XC1 because that's where I'm going next year, and kind of use this year to learn and take what we can and get ready for next year.
Well, I would say learn you did. I think all 3 rounds you did XC1, you finished second. Not bad.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going a little smoother than I anticipated. Everyone talks about the jump from going from XC2 to XC1. It's, you ride it. I've ridden XC2 for the last 6 years. I think it's been now since I've been here, and you catch up to the XC1 guys, and it seems pretty easy to catch them and stuff. And then everyone talks about how hard it is when you're in the XC1 class to be up front. So I think it's going pretty smoothly. Yeah, for sure.
Liam, with the results getting better in the XC1, was it kind of like man, I should have done this sooner? What is kind of the root cause for the better results in the XC1 class? Is there just not as many competition right now? What was it like to get those podiums?
Yeah, definitely. I think my riding style, I came from a trials background, and I like riding a bigger bike. I'm not one to really rev them, and I think being on a 250 was good, and it helped me a lot, but I was ready for a bigger bike, and I just really like the new 450 FX and the frame and how it rides, and yeah, I think it's suited me well so far. And I've had all this year doing the US Sprint Series on the 450, just kind of getting ready for next year, but now I'm on it full time.
Liam, so I'm like new to the GNCC stuff, and I was researching you earlier and saw you're from New Zealand. I was curious, like, what's the moto and off-road scene like in New Zealand, and have you done anything with Townley?
Yeah, moto off-road scene in New Zealand, it's there, but just because we're such a small country and so far away, there's only a select few that do it for a living, basically. And off-road racing is kind of a hobby, and it's fun, and families get together and go racing and hare scrambles in New Zealand. It's quite small, so that's why I came over here to chase a dream and try to make it work. But it's worked so far, and yeah, Townley, I've spent a lot of time. I'm super good friends with BT, and I still talk to him on a weekly basis, and he checks in after each race and sees how things are going, and his boys are obviously doing super well. I know the oldest one, I think, is headed to Europe next year, which is super cool to see another Kiwi go overseas.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I always liked Townley growing up, so it's cool to hear.
He's working with Hayden Deegan, too.
Oh yeah, because he was doing those moto vacations or something like that. I guess he kind of put that on the back burner.
Yeah, no, he's been. I think he's been working with Hayden a little longer than people have known about.
Yeah, that's the vibe we got too.
Yeah.
You mentioned the 450 FX, which is all new this year. We came out to the intro before the first round of GNCC at Big Buck. What is it about that bike that you really like? Because I was super impressed with how good that bike is. We rode it a little bit on the motocross track there at Randy's place, and rode it in the woods, and then I raced it in the GNCC, and it felt like it did almost everything well, but I don't ride at your level. So what does it do well? Maybe what are you still looking for a little improvement out of?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been searching for too much lately. I've done, I think, one suspension test this year with Ziggy at FC, and I'm super stoked on that and how that's gone. But no, the bike's been awesome. I was always a little worried going to a 450 because most of the guys in XC1 that are on the Austrian bikes choose a 350. It's just everyone that's on the Japanese bikes. We don't have a 350 option, but I was a little worried about that. 450 sounds like a big bike, and 3 hours is a long time, especially when you got a mud race or a gnarly rocky race at Snowshoe. But no, the motor's super smooth, and it doesn't feel like a big bike to me.
That's kind of what I thought. Like, it felt real light and nimble, and you can tune those things so much. You can tune them down if you need to.
Yeah.
Get it pretty close to a 350.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we've done. We've detuned it a good bit, just with the mapping tool Yamaha offers, and a few other team sponsors with a different throttle cam. I run a slower throttle cam and a little different FMS system, and yeah, it doesn't really feel like a big 450 to me.
Right.
Yeah, Liam, I did a couple of local cross country races earlier this year, and the appreciate. I've always been a moto guy, and the appreciation I got for how fast you guys go in the woods is it's huge now. I have a little bit of taste of it and see what you guys do, and the question is like, obviously you can't sit there and be like, oh, there's a tree. Like, you have to focus and kind of zone in on the trail. How is that process for you? What are you, like, how far ahead are you looking? What is the main things that you kind of focus on for that long of a race?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to piece 3 hours together and remember everything, but we bike the track. It's open Saturday morning for the pros to bike it, and we all have e-bikes, so we're all out there biking through the track. And we have a pretty good idea where we're going, but yeah, you got to look pretty far ahead, especially the mud races where there becomes bottlenecks and mud holes and stuff like that. You got to be able to read and see where to go and remember stuff like that. So it's tough, and especially in 3 hours. That last hour is all mental. I believe it can drain you down.
Yeah, I learned that if I started seeing like a group of people, like go ahead and pucker the sphincter muscle because you're about to have to do something, jump something or climb something or
to get around,
or just no like fans. Like when you start seeing spectators, you're about to go over to something hard.
Yeah. Yeah, Liam.
I
think last year at Ironman there was a section. I want to say it was right after the mechanics, like where you got to go. I mean, you guys have a different section than we do, the amateurs, the AM riders, but like I think it was after the little gravel area near the mechanics, and went back into the woods, and it was real tight, and there was like 3 fans running on the trail, and I basically just had to wait because they couldn't even get through. It's just like, all right, I guess
I believe it.
Yeah, they're part of the race.
If you want to see craziness, look up Howard's Hole at Snowshoe. The quads is worse, but we're lucky with the dirt bikes because everyone's normally too hungover to go on a Sunday after the quad race. But it's pretty wild down there.
Yes, it is.
Liam, you got a most memorable moment from your championship last year?
Probably the win. It isn't my first win, but the first win of the season last year. I got into the lead, was leading. I think I had 2 or 3 laps to go, and I ripped the foot peg completely off, and Gus Reardon got by me. I pulled in, got a new foot peg, put it back on, and I just put my head down and caught back up to Gus and ended up winning the race. But I'd come off of being at Ironman, which we go there twice a year, and I'd led all day up until about 50 feet before the finish and got held out with a lapper and lost the win there. And then I got passed 2 miles before the finish at a race just before that. So getting a win after 2 races like that was pretty sweet.
I bet. Liam Draper's brought to you tonight by FXR. There's a new FX 250 FX coming up, and the intro is at Ironman, so I'll be out there. I want to ask you about this because I guess apparently I just told Grant this, but it sounds like I'm going to be riding a quad on Saturday in a team race. Have you ever done a quad race at all? Do you have any advice any whatsoever?
Yeah, don't do it.
Not at all. I actually I texted RV and questioned him about it. I couldn't believe he was actually doing it too, and he said, "Yeah, it's a team race apparently."
Yeah, but, I was told.
No, it should be fun.
Yeah, I was told it's me, him, Bradshaw. I think Mike Ulrich from Yamaha.
Yeah.
And maybe one other media guy. They were trying to get somebody from Racer X, which I suggested try to get Chris out there, Kiefer. But yeah, I think we're each going to do a lap. But I'm mostly worried about getting yelled at by RV and Damon for being probably way, way slower than everybody else.
Oh, surely they wouldn't mind too much. They'll get over it.
They're easy to ride. You'll be all right.
Like I get nervous on those tracks on a dirt bike when the faster guys are coming because there's so little room to get out of the way. And I just get out of the way.
Yeah, you're just going to be in the way.
On a quad, I don't know how you get out of the way.
You got to pull off the trail.
Yeah, it blows my mind how those quad guys make passes on some of the GNCC tracks we go to. It doesn't make sense.
Do they have reverse?
I don't think so.
Yeah, the racing quads?
Actually, I don't know on the racing ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either because I'll probably hit some trees and need it.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not.
There's just no way it goes well. Like
they're more fun to ride. I don't know that I'd want to ride one there, but they're pretty fun to mess around on.
It sounds like Nicoletti's coming too.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. Maybe he's who they got for Racer X.
They were talking about.
I remember him saying something about wanting to do one after the season.
Yeah. Oh wow. All right. Well, it's gonna be a hell of a good time.
I got cold last night asking for my practice bike.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so yeah, it's official.
I think I'm just gonna stay.
Well,
at
I
the
don't know
track.
if it's official. They were trying to find someone, but I figured Jamie might have known.
I'll have to text Phil in a minute. We'll text him and see if he's gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I remember him mentioning something about it. So
I'm very, very nervous about Saturday and the quad situation, but in the end, no matter what, it's gonna be a great story for us and Steve.
Wear a GoPro.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I want to go back to moving up to XC1, and you touched on it a little bit, but what was some of the biggest hurdles in changing classes?
I think there was I don't know really. It was just I didn't know what to expect when I first lined up. There was no expectation.
Okay.
I didn't know where I stood. And then especially my first XC1 race, I got the whole shot and led for a lap, almost 2 laps. It was kind of surreal feeling, I got the whole shot and looked back and seen the whole train of XC1 boys behind me. I'm like, wow, this is it. And, but yeah, it's definitely, I noticed it this weekend. I got into the lead, halfway around. Just at the start of lap 2, I got into the lead. And I was like, man, I'm going to put in a sprint. I put in a hard sprint to try and break away. And I got almost out to 20 seconds on the guys. And by the end of lap 3, they were back on me. Where I feel like in XC2, if you were to put in a sprint like that and pull away, it's a lot easier to maintain in XC2 than it is in XC1. Those guys have been doing it a long time and they know how it works. And yeah, it bit me in the butt on the last lap. I was pretty tamed.
Yeah, there's a little different strategy, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot. They're older and wiser.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, Liam, in any forms of racing, it always takes, a full team and your family and stuff behind you. The fact that you've came here from New Zealand, what is it? Who's all in your corner, and who do you rely on the most for not just the bike and everything, but your program week to week, and who all can you thank for helping you get through all this?
Yeah, so I have a fiance over here with 2 boys. They're pretty inspirational to me, those 2 boys. And I live in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, surrounded by some good people. The XC1 champ right now, was XC1 champ Craig DeLong actually lives like 5 minutes from me. So me and him ride together a lot, and around this area there's a lot of people that race, and it's kind of like family to me now here. And I have a trainer with Zach Osborne, so it's been good working with Zach. I started with him a couple months, 3 months ago now probably, and just good people and a good team. That was the biggest thing last year. And into the start of last year, you surround yourself with good people and good things happen. And Randy's super knowledgeable, and I have a good mechanic and just good people down at the race shop.
Has Zach talked you into getting on the little skis that he does on the road? I don't know what they call those. It's like where he like skis on the rollerblades kind of thing. I don't. Has he gotten you to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen those out since I've been around Zach, but no.
They need to stay in the closet, right?
Right, yeah. No, he can leave those at home.
How excited are you to have Darkside as a teammate?
Yeah, that lap says it all. Him and Ricky enjoy like my suffering. I think
I do too. I do
it
too.
really shows the pedigree of the team to be able to afford a guy like Darkside.
Yeah, I think it was last year when Darkside did Florida. It was pretty comical watching him.
Yeah, that would have been the one to watch.
Race. Like, because we all know how tough that race is, and it was good to see.
Look, man, I finished.
Yeah, you did. That's what you set out to do.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know if I've said this more than once, I thought I was going to die on that last lap. I mean, with the dehydration, but we battled through as a team. We got it done. Hey, as I said that day, I finished second in my class. I was on Zacho's bike, and that was the best finish that bike had ever gotten.
Weren't you on the beginner class?
No, I was
racing.
I raced B class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, it counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
I got out so far with the first lap with all the sand whoops that by the time by the last lap, you could not ride a motorcycle any slower than I was going and not tip over.
Yeah.
But I had a big enough gap that I still finished second somehow. So yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that race that's no joke down there.
No.
Especially when it's hot.
And it was.
Like it normally is. It's brutal.
Okay, so I got a couple more things I want to hit with you. Have you ever been on the ISDE team?
No, I haven't been on it.
So is that something that is a goal for you, something you'd like to do? And if so, we kind of talked to Grant about it, but like is that by nomination? How does that work?
Yeah, no, I'd definitely like to take it off the bucket list. My dad's actually done a few ISDEs, and definitely be something cool to do and represent New Zealand at. But like over here, the American team is selected from the sprints normally is where the team gets selected from, and they pick it from there. But New Zealand, just being a smaller country and less people to pick from, it would be a little easier. It wouldn't be done from a race or you have to qualify early. You would just kind of raise your hand that you'd be interested.
Okay.
There's a few of us. Well, there's myself racing over here in America, and we have another guy racing World Enduro, Hamish McDonald in Europe, and then another kid in Australia racing off-road. So I think it would be kind of easier to pick in a smaller country.
Right. So what's keeping that from happening? Is it just putting it together, or I mean, do you have to say, "Hey, I want to do this"?
Yeah, I mean funding and things like that. Normally, they talked about it this year, but I was unsure with my knee and things like that. So we kind of pushed it out, and they put a more emphasis on donations this year and sending some guys there.
Okay. All right. I understand. Two more for you real quick. Do you have do you know what your 25 plans are? I know it's still a little early. The series isn't over, but do you know if you're sticking with Ampro, or do you are you already signed?
Yeah. No, I'll be, I've renewed a deal, and I'll be with Yamaha for a few more years.
Good. Glad to hear it. I want to stay teammates with you, Liam.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Blue Crew, baby.
I ain't racing no quads with you, though. I'm out on that.
All right. Well, I mean, not all of us can be that tough to race 2 days in a row, Liam.
Yeah, I hear that.
Right. I'll ask you that Sunday afternoon.
Right. My last topic, I was going through your Instagram, and you just mentioned, I think it was your girlfriend's son. Was it Cammy that did his race, and you got him his first race, and you helped get him a bike and all that? Yeah.
Cammy's her youngest one. I got him his first dirt bike. It's a KTM with some blue graphics on it, but yeah, he's hard into GNCC racing and got his first podium 2 GNCCs ago.
Nice.
So he was super stoked, and funny what comes out of a kid's mouth when you put him on a podium in front of a bunch of people. That's for sure.
Do tell. What'd he say?
Oh, he's just holding on for dear life and thanks his sponsors, and it's pretty funny.
He's got it figured out. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing how much YouTube and being at the track every weekend plays a role in that. But no, they enjoy it, and it's cool to see.
Man, as we always say, every time we interview one of the GNCC riders, off-road guys, we talk about the family atmosphere of the events, and that right there, that's what it's all about. You having the family out there, everybody getting to race. That's pretty cool. I mean, we don't get that at Supercross that much, guys. Like, we don't have, other than maybe an SMX, right? But regular Supercross race, sometimes in the 50s class. But it's like every weekend you just have the whole family there doing something like that. It's pretty amazing. Love this off-road thing, GNCC. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks at Ironman. Liam, hopefully I make it through the four-wheeler day on Saturday and make it to big bikes.
Yeah, no, I'll be out there on Friday watching you guys play around on the new 250 FX. It's a pretty cool bike.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks, man. Thanks for jumping on here, and congratulations on, although you didn't win a title, I feel like just looking at your results, it was a hell of a year still.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me on.
Anytime, Liam. Take care, buddy.
All right.
All right. That's it. It's Liam Draper tonight, brought to you by FXR. He's a good dude, man. He's really fun to talk to and hang out with, and him and Ricky both, and on the team, and like Zach was on the team last year when I was out there with Yamaha doing things, and just a really good group of guys.
Has there ever been a Kiwi that's just not just like super chill and like down to earth and cool? Like they all, like he sounds like every last one of them. Like I don't know.
It's definitely, there is a
island vibes.
Yeah, there is a vibe. It's a small country, and I think they're very
just super chill. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get too wound up over things.
His humor's funny, but it was.
Yeah, pretty awesome, man. I really like those guys. Again, I am nervous about the four-wheeler thing. Like I'm not taking it super serious, but
can I be like fully honest? Like that's stupid. You've never rode a quad in your life, and you're going to go.
I have rode quads.
They're not that crazy. Like they're pretty easy to ride.
I guess like the fact that you're just trail riding.
Yeah, that's all it is. He's not trying to race.
Like
really.
Jumping them is insane.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
There's gonna be something that you come up to that you're like, I don't know what to do on this to hit this.
It's definitely different, but like they're fun to mess around on. I've had buddies with them when we were younger, but I'd never let anybody see me ride one.
But a factory Yamaha 450 quad?
I doubt they're going to be.
What else would he be on?
I assume it's
You think
one of the race
Billy
quads.
going to ride a stock quad? Yeah.
I don't really know any details.
It's not going to go as bad as you think. I don't know.
There's not a chance in hell I'm climbing Ironman Hill. I'm going around it on the quad.
Come on, dude.
Dude, I don't know what to expect. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I am scared. I am
We need
nervous.
plenty of videos.
It's going to be a story. That's all I can say. Like Amber was like, she's worried about it flipping over on me and landing on me. Like, I don't think I'm going to be going fast enough for that to happen. So,
Oh, God.
Thumb throttle,
I
take
just
a
spit all over
little getting
myself.
used
That's
to.
gross. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just texted RV. Let's see if he'll jump on and we can maybe discuss it, but I don't know if he'll respond in time. Your fuel pump went out. You know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I guess I had that coming.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was excited. You know, have you ordered one yet?
I have not.
So maybe you should go to ProX.
Yeah.
One of our sponsors. ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro Yamaha, my team, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets, and fuel pumps. ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find ProX at your local dealer or visit PRO-X. You're not writing this down. PRO-X.com and search for parts for your bike, Scotty.
Got it. I got a
pump.
I got a photographic memory.
Fuel pump.
Yeah.
Jump on ProX and get taken care of. Get the thing fixed up so we can ride. There is a Moto Masters coming up at Johnsonville in a few weeks. Same day as Billadilla. What's that?
There's one at Village this weekend.
A Moto Masters this weekend. I don't think I'm in town this weekend, so I didn't realize it was this weekend. If things work out, I might go. Are you going?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go up there and shoot it.
Okay.
With his camera.
Yeah, with my camera.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, it's a possibility I'll do that, but some races coming up, so get your bike fixed so we can go ride.
All right, Captain.
And then you can get maybe you can go to GH.
You buying?
For Moto Masters?
No, for the fuel pump.
No. You have a job.
Yeah.
Your job is your credit.
Yeah.
T-Bolt USA. If you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. T-Bolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike, from BBR handlebars to D&M shocks and even full bikes from YCF and Pitster Pro bikes. T-Bolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for the Chinese bikes that are so difficult to find. And if they don't have it, Vince has said that they can usually find something that will work. So hit up TBoltUSA.com and you'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts all, again, at TBoltUSA.com. T-Bolt USA Top 5. This week, we said Moto Hacks. Next week, Scotty and I were talking about this. Like, these top 5 lists are kind of getting difficult to think of new ones that are interesting. We would love for you to send your top 5s in at MotoXpod Show at gmail.com. Give us some topics that we can do top 5s on. But we decided we were going to get like a little more detailed. Like in the past, we've gone favorite fast food or whatever.
Yeah.
And Scotty's like, well, we need to be more detailed. So because I love food, I said, and he mentioned one we've done in the past, we're going to go, what is your favorite hamburger next week?
Okay.
Maybe these will be boring. I don't know. Maybe we need to change this whole segment. I'm not sure, but we're going to keep going with it until we come up with something better. But the idea is your favorite hamburger from any chain, not not one you make yourself. So any chain or any restaurant, favorite hamburger you've ever had.
I'll give you TJ's right now. It's Wendy's. And I hate him for it.
TJ doesn't work here anymore.
People are going to think you're serious.
T-Bolt USA top 5 moto hacks. Go, Scotty.
I'm going to, I have like tighten your drain bolts, one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure that's a hack.
No. I was trying to think about this. Like, I'm not very mechanically inclined, so like it was kind of hard for me to come up with these. But some of the things that
this would have been a good one for TJ.
Yeah,
but he's not here.
would have been
Had
there.
some decent ones.
I will say that one of them is if your brake starts getting kind of spongy, that you pump it up, hold it tight, zip tie it, and leave it overnight.
Yep.
And it'll make the brake firm again.
That's on my list and one of the listeners. But yeah, that's a pretty common one. But that's a good.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Another moto hack is like SC1 or some kind of sealant like that,
That one's on mine.
on top of, so that you don't get all the mud
Might
on
have
your
all the
bike.
same ones.
I think I got a couple.
I learned recently, like a good like Gorilla Glue or Super Glue works just as in hairspray works good on your grips.
Oh yeah,
You don't have to go buy the little $5 tube.
Oh yeah, I just use spray paint.
Yeah, spray paint works too.
Yeah.
So some of those other moto hacks, when it's sandy or muddy, lower your air pressure. Like I said, it's kind of all the basic stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know if those are really hacks. Like, I mean, maybe they are. I think those are just settings. Like in my mind,
Well, yeah. What do you?
yeah, it's kind of hard. Like things that you. Okay, so yeah, I guess maybe you're right. I don't know. Like so for one of mine was like I prep before I go to the track. Like I do my air pressure on my forks and my tires
That's pretty
before
good
I
one.
load up in the
Well,
morning.
that's a lie because I saw you do that before.
Okay, most of the time
Yeah.
I do it before I get there because it's just that I don't want to do it when I get
I
there.
usually sleep as long as I can before.
I'll do it like the night before in
Yeah.
the shop and just have it kind of pretty much ready. And I usually fill my fuel before I leave. That's not something I do every time, but that's something I do to save time when I get to the track.
And I also during like race weekends and stuff, I try to do just like straight like protein stuff. Like I get those little Lunchable protein packs, which is like it's just turkey and cheese and like almonds and stuff like that, or I'll do like hard boiled eggs, stuff that's just like protein and not a lot of like fatty stuff to keep me. But then I drink beer afterwards anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But those will be mine. Just kind of the basic stuff.
Yeah. Blake Balmer sent an email. Use a plastic grocery bag over your air filter when washing your bike. That's when
I have one of
those pre-made
yeah,
covers.
that's cool.
I do the grocery bag usually. That's one on my list. He also had the zip tie on the brake lever overnight. If you want to be lazy or go longer on an air filter, use filter skins or an outerwears cover.
I need to get one of those for TCCRAs.
They really work great. Use the belt loop on your pants or shorts as a T-handle holder. And when you have a gas tank vent hose that keeps popping off, cut a small chunk of the end of the hose, then use the small chunk and place it over the top of the existing hose. Think of it as being similar to using a hose clamp on a radiator.
Oh, that's smart.
Never thought about that. So
I always use the little. I always order the ones with the little
Metal piece.
metal piece on
Yeah,
top.
that's what I used to.
I don't think I've ever used one of those.
One of the little never mind.
Yeah.
We go give Vince Pales real quick from T-Bolt USA, then we'll go to you, Chase. The way to make things easy is to stay on top of everything. Wash your bike, look it over for damage, check every bolt, check every spoke, change the air filter, get disposable Maxima Pro filters. If you hate cleaning filters, change your engine oil, double check your drain bolt, no ball bust intended. Yeah, there was. Check your coolant, keep your throttle clean and lubricated. So those are Vince's. Go ahead, Chase.
Putting in pegs, like the peg springs, if you take a zip tie and compress it with that, you can do them one-handed. So you don't have to like sit there and try to hold the spring and press. Use it to keep it like tightened down. Strap into the frame if there's only one bike in the back of the truck. Keep you from blowing fork seals, stuff like that. Start doing photography, and it's inexpensive to get into, but it ends up paying for some of your riding and racing.
Yeah.
Zip tie on the lower fork tube. See if you're bottoming out.
That's a good one.
And
Yeah,
then,
that's not bad.
The SC1 WD-40.
Yeah, I have that on mine too. The only two that I have that weren't already said was, for me, I like to use music when I'm riding. It helps relax me and kind of chills me out where I'm not. For me,
I need to try that.
I feel like it helps me not get arm pump as much because I'm not
thinking about something
Yeah, I'm not
else.
thinking about riding. I'm just kind of chill. It chills me out.
I need to try it.
And then the other one is a lot of people struggle to pull tear-offs. They pull all of them or whatever, and I double fold mine.
Yeah.
So you put a tear-off
I'm
on.
the worst at putting tear offs.
You know, it has two holes at the end of the tear-off. So I kind of fold it back on the first hole, and then I fold it a third time, basically. So it's really short. So when the tear-off sticks out further.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just do the double fold. They fold it back, and that's it.
Yeah. I do the same thing where you do the double fold.
Yeah. So
it helps.
That's really all I have.
I don't really pull tear offs anyways, though.
I do. I like to do it when I'm going over like a big triple or something, and I'm like looking at the crowd, and
you do.
They're just there to keep from ruining lenses, honestly.
Yeah. You scrub and look back and rip a tear off all at once.
Most of the time, I have to come to a stop almost.
Yeah, mine's like I'm like coming down I like land a jump and I'm coming down a straightaway. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Sketch.
Yeah, so those are all I have. If you guys have more moto hacks, send them in, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. We'd love to hear them. And again, if you have a favorite hamburger, what I would really like is to get a flood of top 5 lists from you listeners. There's got to be things we're just not thinking of. And these two over here, they don't help any. They come into the show last minute and they forget that.
I get told that I'm doing the show a day before usually, so.
Well, you know what? You still need to be prepared, sir.
All right.
You still need to be prepared.
Yeah, because that's how that goes. Oh, another one I thought of is JB Weld. I've had to use that before.
I mean, if you have to, I suppose so.
It's not ideal, but I've done it.
No. Yeah. I'm trying to think of some others. Like, how about anti-seize is really good. Using anti-seize on like chain adjuster bolts, things like that you're moving around a lot. Pull those bolts out, put a little anti-seize on them, and put them back in. Anti-seize is amazing, and that'll help from things getting corroded. I just thought of this one. When I get done washing my bike, I hook up the air compressor and I like blow the chain out and just so those don't rust or whatever. I just now thought of that. You know what? Another one for cleaning air filter, something that I use is I go to like Ace Hardware or whatever, and I buy a jug or two, about 10 gallons of heater kerosene oil, because it's not super hot as far as like, that's what I soak and I wash my filters in, because it won't really damage the glue, but it gets them clean.
Because gas will eat through that glue.
Yeah, gas will eat through them, but the kerosene's not as chemically hot. So that works really well. And then I instantly go wash them with like some Dawn soap and wring them out so that I get the kerosene out. But it really gets them clean, and they'll last for a long, long time. So I feel like that's a pretty good hack. I learned that one from Michael Gage. He's had this, and I've had the same kerosene in my barrel in my shop probably for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
It's just now getting to where it's kind of like
you mix it in with some of the cleaner, like the normal air filter cleaner?
No.
Just that?
Just the kerosene and then Dawn soap.
And Dawn soap.
Yeah. When I'm done to clean it. Yeah, it really works really well.
Kerosene's more than enough to
now that kerosene, like, it might be $100 to get enough in that barrel that I use to where you can dip them all the way.
Yeah, but it lasts like 4 years.
Like 4 years.
Oh, so you just dip them into the same.
Yeah, I have one like it's a metal can. It looks like a barrel. Literally, it's a barrel, but it's like a 4 or 5 gallon barrel.
Like one of the little oil drums.
Yeah, that you would get from an oil company.
The grime and stuff doesn't.
It builds up, and it's just now after 4 years where I'm like, I can kind of feel it down there. Like it needs to be replaced. But
I've flows down to the bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll settle like that.
I've used it for at least 4 years, maybe longer.
Wow,
maybe 5 or 6.
$25 a year.
Yeah. Now, I don't really know where I'm supposed to dispose of what's in that can now.
Don't tell anybody.
I don't want to dump it in my yard or down my drain or anything.
Dump it in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's a good one. So there's a couple that I just thought of last minute. Let's do emails, EVS picks, and we'll probably wrap this thing up. Evans wireless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation. But with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, and Pro Factory Yamaha, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship. Evans is in the bikes on the podium. Evans coolant emails. I already read the Tay Bill Jam one. Let me look at this list real quick. I think there was one other one we haven't got to. This is also from Tay Bill Jam, but it's separate from the other one. He was talking about MXDN. He just said,
"Did he call me an asshole?"
Well, I don't know. Let me read it.
Yeah,
I haven't read this one through yet. So, Netherlands have Hurlings in, and I didn't know that. I just read it.
Scotty's an asshole.
Can't wait. Probably going to be the last time we get to see Eli have a showdown with Hurlings. I hope Tomac has a little extra in the tank to smoke him. And Scotty's an asshole. I agree with your selection for MXDN. I think Netherlands' team looks very strong. All 3 riders are gnarly, bro. I could talk about moto. Love it. You must be stoked with your life now compared to a couple years ago.
Yeah. He still bitches Table Jam. Don't worry.
You've worked for all us guys from the chat and podcast, and all are happy for you. And we got your back, mate. Scotty's an asshole. Keep up the good work. Thanks for the content. I try to be at every live moto podcast, and there's a few of us now that are regulars that keep the chat going. We kick out any kickheads. I don't know. Oh, maybe that means like he's not using the D word.
Yeah.
Or tell them to shut up. But at the same time, we are very friendly and inclusive to anyone that wants to come and chat about moto. We're all you guys that love bikes and love to talk about it. Sorry, I told you I can talk and talk. Oh yeah, and Scotty's an asshole. Thanks, Tayville Jam. Okay, here's the last one. This is actually not an email, but I just threw it into the email segment. I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about like when your wife does some crazy shit or your husband does some crazy shit. And really what started all, they were talking about a opera that the dad took his kid to an opera, and it was like about Noah's Ark, but it was a little bit of a spin on it. And then they started talking about like, okay, Noah supposedly built the Ark over like 100 years, and he was like 500 years or whatever. But because he knew this flood was coming, right? Which sounds crazy, and everybody thought he was crazy. So I started thinking, what's your limit for your girlfriend, wife of crazy? Like preppers, right? There's people that prep for the end of the world. That seems crazy until the end of the world comes.
Yeah.
So where's the limit of something your chick could do that seems crazy where you're like, I'm going to stick with her or I'm done? Like, give me an example of like, can you think of anything?
That's hard.
Like if she was building an ark because a flood was coming, because God told her a flood was coming, and she's working on this for 100 years, and she's telling you, nope, the end of the world's coming. God told me so.
You start telling me God's nuts. Talking to you, I'm out. No,
I do date. We'd hardly have to have conversations about it, but I would like, if she was that convicted and like that's when she's like, I'm doing this no matter with or without you, I'd probably stick with her.
Okay. But it doesn't have to be that specifically. Like, is there something that your chick does that's a little crazy? You're like, nah, I can deal with this. Or maybe you've been with a chick in the past, like, nope, can't deal with that.
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty tolerable. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm dating a tattoo artist, so I'll put up with a little bit of crazy.
We're not, yeah.
But there's got to be a limit, though.
I mean, just you can't control. Like, if you start trying to control what I do and what I want to do and stuff like that, like I'm done.
Maybe if she started like jarring and dating her farts, maybe I'd be out. But like,
all right,
but like,
there we go.
I don't.
Okay, that might be maybe too much,
dude. I might be back in with that.
Yeah, I might start doing it too.
What about all right? Yeah. So the same podcast, they were talking like
September 30th, Chipotle.
The wife, it's a husband and wife podcast, and the wife was like, like right now to her husband, she said, if you started building a spaceship because you think the aliens are coming, she's like, I love you, so I'd probably stick with you, but I don't know that I want to go on that spaceship, like for the end of the world or whatever.
I'd be curious where you're getting all the money to build a spaceship.
It was just like back then he built an ark, right? So she was comparing it to now, but yeah, like there are a lot of things that people do, and you go, that's crazy. But what's too crazy? Like, where is your line? And I don't know, man. I dated somebody that was the most insecure, jealous person I'd ever been around, but I stuck with him for 6 years before I finally said, this is too crazy. I can't take it anymore.
I'm cool with a little jealousy because like
this was too much jealousy.
I get it, but it shows your want is I don't mind.
Yeah, a little bit. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're not a little crazy about me, I don't want you.
And they want that. They want you to be jealous too. That's why they always ask you up questions.
I guess it's hard to define where your line is until you actually get there. Like, it's hard to make an example, right? Unless you've been there. So if you guys haven't already been there, that'd be another fun story for our listeners.
So I think it depends on like how long into it are you?
That's true too. Yeah. Like the first month it might be, or 10 years. Is and then like
difference. How into it are you really?
Yeah.
Because like I remember when I was in college, I was dating this one girl, and it's like we had been introduced by mutual friends, and we had been like talking for like a couple weeks, and she actually like English was her second language, so it was a little bit broken. So it was like it kind of was a little different for us to communicate. So we're just kind of taking it slow and easy and talking. And like I think that she might have been trying to like say something else, but she was back home and she was texting me, and she said that she smelt something that reminded me of her. We've been talking for like a week and a half.
She smelled something that reminded her of you.
Yes,
you said me of
or whatever.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Like 6 months in, I probably wouldn't have thought that was weird. 2 weeks in, I was like, okay, I'm kind of like, and I guess I'd probably been looking for a way out anyways, so I took it. But like, I think it really just depends on the scenario and how you feel about that person. Like, I'm like, if you really truly love them, then you'll stick with them even if they do seem crazy.
Yeah.
Or doing something crazy. So I don't know. I'd have to see it. Like I'd have to be confronted with that line before I just decided, yeah, okay, I guess that's my line. Now, if she, like, I would say one would be if she was like, hey, like, I want you to be only with me, but I'm going to go have sex with other people, then yeah, I'm out. Like, that'd be a line.
All right.
Like, you can't do anything else, but I'm going to go be open.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Okay. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. If you have a line, you've reached a line, those would be some fun stories maybe to share on an upcoming show also.
That could get wild.
Yeah, I'll have to pre-read those, but yeah, the jealousy thing, I don't really want to deal with that again. So, but yeah, finding that line is interesting. I don't think if I was with somebody that was building an arc for the end, or just anything for the end of the world, I think that might be like, I don't know if I can deal with that. Like if the end of the world comes, it comes. I think that might. Yeah, I don't know if I was Noah's wife, I could put up with 100 years of
if the world ends, I don't know that I want to be on the ark to be around and stick. Yeah. Like I don't want to rebuild this shit.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I know it's not. I know that's not Moto. Sorry, Phil just texted me back. He said there's a chance he's doing Ironman. I asked if we can call him. He's halfway over the Atlantic, so he must be going to MXDN. So anyway, but yeah, sounds like he might be doing MXDN. So, or not MXDN, GNCC.
I was going to say Puerto Rico.
Sorry, man. I'm reading the text while I'm trying. You know I can't do two things at once. That's been proven. All right. So lots of fun show so far. Let's close this thing out. Unless you guys have anything out. He said, "Oh, now you want to put me on your bullshit show."
Come on, Phil.
Hey, let me respond to him real quick. Yeah, talk about, I don't know, talk about something. Just entertain our listeners while I respond to Phil real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll finish texting in a second. All right.
Yeah.
EVS picks for MXDN. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as the leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norn, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. Check out evs-sports.com and use the code VITALMX30, that's all caps, to save and gear up like the pros. You can get the new Axis Web Eclipse knee braces, the Axis, no, they weren't, what were the old ones called? I'm blanking now on the old ones. The old knee braces, the EVS.
The Web?
No, that's the new one, the Web Eclipse. Maybe it was just called the Axis Pro and Axis Sport, I think, knee brace.
Yeah, that sounds right.
TP 199 knee guards, the Slaco 196 knee guards, or the technical undergear that I love so much, all at evs-sports.com. Use that promo code to save. All right, I want to do EVS picks for Motocross of Nations. For us this week, we're going to do our top 5 in order for team finishes at MXDN. You guys with me?
Yep.
Okay. So, Chase, I'm going to have you go first. Give me.
You said top 5 or top 3?
I want to do top 5.
Top 5.
Yep.
Top 5. Where's my notes? I think the Netherlands is going to pull it off.
Okay.
They're super strong. Australia, second. Webster's kind of the weak link, and he came over here and did, what, like 12-8? I think we just went back and looked at earlier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, him being the weak link, that's pretty strong. As long as it's not super just a mud fest, I think the USA will get on the podium. And then
you got to put him in a spot.
Third.
Okay. Did you already say second?
Netherlands, Australia.
Oh, I missed Australia. Sorry.
Yep. And then that's what I was talking about. Webster.
Okay.
Then USA, and then Spain and France round out top 5.
Okay. Your list is a little different than mine.
I in my heart, I don't think the USA is going to get on the podium, but I'm putting them on the podium.
So Phil said what I said. He said, right now you want to put me on your show. I said, hi, yeah, I'm racing the GNCC too. He said, I'm going to fucking equalize you. I'm saying, you'll have to do it when you're lapping me.
Well, so lap 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and do mine. So I'm going to say in 5th.
So we're starting 5, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to have some suspense.
Okay.
And 5th, I'm going to say Germany.
Oh, not even on my list or his. Good.
And Fourth, I'm going to say, where were they at? Hold on, I'm looking at all my teams here.
Great radio.
He didn't
You
write
got to
it
be
down.
prepared.
Yeah, I was really on it.
What a bomb.
And fourth, I'm going to go Belgium.
Who
Third-
may not even have a team. We just said that earlier, but okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going off
Yeah,
these
they're
names.
hurting.
No, actually, no. I'm sorry. 4, I'm going to go France. 3, I'm going to go Australia. 2, I'm going to go USA, and then the Netherlands to win.
Okay. Yeah, I'm unsure on Belgium's dealings because Sasha got hurt. They replaced him with Van Donnik, I believe.
Yep.
Or maybe Geertz.
I think Van Donnik, and then
Okay.
Lucas didn't want to ride the 250.
Liam got hurt, so maybe Van Donnik replaced one. Anyway,
yeah.
one or the other. And then Lucas said he didn't want to drop down to MX2, so they weren't going to send a team. But then I saw that he was going to go, but that was like Sunday or Monday morning. And then now I'm still seeing they might not be going. So I don't know if Belgium even has a team. So they would be in my top 5 probably if I knew for sure, especially if Liam, Sasha, and
Yeah,
Lucas, if those
the
three were
original
going, then
team-
absolutely they're in my top 5. But my top 5, I guess I'll follow Scotty's lead here and go start with 5. Spain at number 5 with Prado, Oliver, and Fernandez. USA, you know the USA team in 4th. France,
Ouch.
with
That's probably more realistic.
France
than my
with
third.
Favre, Vial, and Renault. Australia with the Lawrence brothers and Webster, and the Netherlands with Herlings, the champ, the MX2 champ, Kaida Wolf, and Koldenhoff, who always comes in clutch at these MXDNs. That's just, I think,
Sounds like we're all in agreement.
we're all in
that-
agreement with the Netherlands. Now, obviously, a mudder could change some of these things up quite a bit, but that's
Yeah, there's no telling with how that
Yeah.
track's probably going to be.
Tomac's good in the mud. So is AP.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about Webb, but
But again, they're going to be on a track that they haven't really raced at. Most of these guys
Yeah,
have all raced there,
they've all
so
raced
I'm going to
there.
give them a little bit of advantage over that.
Their tracks form different anyways, just
Yeah.
because of how they ride.
Send in I'll tell you what, let's do this. Send in your podium, MotoXpodshow@gmail.com, your podium for Motocross the Nations. If anybody gets it right, completely right, I bet I can get you guys a set of FXR gear. If multiple people pick it right, we'll do a drawing out of a hat. But you got to have them in by Friday, this coming Friday. Motocross the Nations podium picks for the teams for a chance to win a set of FXR gear.
you just got the socks taken care of. You really want to start this again?
Not if you're outside the
Yeah, you gotta
Continental
be-
USA.
in the
I'm sorry.
Continental
You
USA.
have to be inside the Continental USA.
Well, unless you want to pay for shipping.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you're willing to pay for shipping, you can enter from outside the USA. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, guys, before we wrap this thing up?
I think I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'm looking through the notes. You know what? One more thing. You want to save this for next week? I have another topic.
I have no idea what it is, so
It's just a topic. Do you want to wrap the show up, or do you want
it's up
to?
to you, man. Your call.
Let's do it now.
All right.
Okay. If you had to pick one event, so for the year of 2025, you only get to go to one major race, and you're choosing between Supercross Finals, Salt Lake City, right? I think that's where it is this next year. I know some
I'm
things have
pretty
changed.
sure,
Yeah. Motocross Finals, Budds Creek.
Yes.
Super Motocross Finals, we don't know where that is yet. Motocross of Nations, Ironman. World Supercross, pick a round. An Australian Supercross. So those are your options. What do you pick and why?
Nations.
Yeah, it's Nations.
Okay.
Hands down. That's
Okay.
Maybe
I
it's
was kind of afraid that might be the case. That's
If-
pretty
if
obvious.
that's
Let's
it-
take it out.
okay. Then probably
if SMS,
Buds. I don't really care
For
about
motocross
SMX that
finals.
much.
Okay.
it kind of just depends. If the Supercross finale, like not the SMX Supercross finale, was still in Vegas like it used to
Yeah,
be,
same.
But it's
And-
not. So.
yeah,
and
Salt
it's-
Lake City
and
is
it was-
not fun
yeah.
at night.
then I would.
But if it was, you'd pick that.
That'd be tough between that or the Nations.
But the Nations is now out, and the final Supercross Finals are not
Yeah.
in Vegas. So,
So-
what are you picking?
Probably the final of SMX.
I think I might do
Oh
a
no,
World Supercross.
can
round.
I? No,
or no Australia.
No, A1.
No, I didn't.
What's
That wasn't one of
that?
your
That's
options.
No,
I'll get-
A1.
All right. Well, he doesn't get to go.
Yeah, but
I think I might.
Can that, why would that would fall in there?
No, he
Well,
just
I would
said
say all
buds,
final
like the
rounds, but
finales.
that is a big event, so I'm okay with you adding.
A1's probably the one to go
Yeah.
to if you can
Yeah.
only go to
I'm
one.
okay with you adding that. I think I would do an Australian Supercross round just because I want to go to Australia. I've got
Same.
to do most of the other ones already, so I think I would do that.
I'd go to AusX before I went to World Supercross.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's my pick. All right, MotoXpod@gmail.com to enter the contest for the FXR gear. For any of the other segments that you want to, contribute to, we'd love to hear from you. On that, I want to thank RaceTech and Yamaha Moto USA, as well as Guts Racing, FXR, X Brand, Pro X, EVS Protection, Evans Coolant, Barnett Clutches, T-Bolt USA, ETS Fuels. I want to thank these guys for being in studio. Grant Davis and Liam Draper from jumping on. Really cool to do an off-road show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a little different than normal. Next week, not really sure what we're going to do. We'll probably do an MXDN recap. We will be on Monday night because that asshole Steve Mathis is trying to encroach on our Tuesday night show again. So we'll do a Monday night show. Not really sure what kind of guest lineups we're going to have, but I am going to try to get Matt Byton on, and we'll talk to him as he's dealing with his recovery from being paralyzed. But other than that, I'm not sure who else we'll reach out to, but we'll get it figured out. Monday night live show next week. Other than that, guys, thanks for listening.